Hi, welcome to Oshunyemi's channel. So today I'm gonna, or I would like to talk about, are you scared to show your emotions? A lot of us was taught in our younger years not to show our emotions, not to show our love to our children because we wasn't shown love to by our parents, and also, um, we don't show our emotions in certain situations, i.e., when a child is graduating. I mean, we go to the graduation sometimes, but we also don't give compliments to our children. We also, I think, environment, with the way we're brought up, I don't know what it is. Um, like, are we scared to show our emotions because of past hurts in the past, or because we feel like a lost of emotions, lost for emotions? um I can actually give testimony on that, especially when it comes to showing love to children, my children. Like, it takes a long while, it takes a lot of work. You go into centers, etc. They say that motherhood comes natural. Yes, it does come natural. Yes, no doubt it does. And showing love to one's child is what grows them, is what you model them. So when they know what love is, especially when they see love amongst their parents, family, and stuff. Hi everybody. Hi. Yes. Well, you know me, I'm just on here all the time today. It's quite quiet today. I don't know how long my daughter's gonna sleep for, but anyway, we'll just trail through this thing. So my thing is, are we scared to show our love to relate in relationship situations, towards our children situations, our own family in most cases? Because what I notice, there's one thing I notice about white people, I can say, when they in love, they show the love. Like, it permeates from inside out. They're not scared to kiss on road. They're not scared to hug on road. They're not scared to, show love to their children. Some, not all. But like I said, maybe it's because of environment. It's got to do with it. Maybe it's to do with what they seen as you grow up. What is taught to you physically. We have been taught to suppress emotions. Yeah, we have. We have been taught to suppress our emotions, and not only that, like, what I learned about myself is also when death happens. Like, most people be breaking down crying. Some people, like, it doesn't even go that way. Sometimes it's like you store it inside of your body. You store that grief because you don't want to cry, you don't want to scream, you don't want to, you know. And I think that's one thing I give Africans credit for, because they show their emotions, like they grieve, they proper grieve, like, you know. And so, our emotions are very suppressed, but it's how can we unsuppress it, like, especially when you're in relationships, particularly. I mean, obviously, relationships, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of emotions amongst the opposites, um, showing the love to each other, because in yeah, you are told to be strong as well. Because also in community as well, right? Love, I feel, love or what we term love is not is normally a sexual conquest. Oh, that person, that means it's love. That's a relationship. We don't go through all the courtship thing to the build up, and afterwards, um, then afterwards the big L world comes out. It's like first we jump on each other's bones first. Then it's like a kind of relationship, Netflix and chill, and then you're there trying to figure out, is it a relationship, is it something else going on, like in most cases it's like some males outwardly do show affections, they do. The legacy of slavery in the West has played a role in relationship, and how can we love as weak. Yeah, and plus men are shown, men particularly, they have to be this very, very sort of way. They either got to be overly aggressive. If they're too loving, they're beta. If they're too whatever, the next way. But some white people seem to have it all on balance. Now we have sex first, then if you're lucky, it may turn to be something. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me just put in because I don't want to be talking to myself. Uh, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Right, let me put in the link as well. That's one of the things that Queen Afua focuses on, the courtship, the love. I know that she's not in my best books right now, but I still love Sacred Woman, so I'll just continue loving Sacred Woman. Um, yeah, that's one of the things that Queen Afua talks about as well, the courtship, the action, like he getting to know you, you getting to know him, talk like family, like the nourishing mother, the nurturing mother, the nurturing mother. And in most cases, most mothers are not very nurturing because they're not taught to nurture, or they're not taught to. I don't know about the kitchen stuff. I think that's just a whole nother conversation altogether. But they're not taught to nurture because they wasn't brought up in that environment, so they can nurture. I'm sorry, I sound like Fundi Fee now. They're not taught to nurture, you know, or or they're taught because they was hurt in the past by their mother, right? They end up hurting their children. They don't show the children love. It's like your children shows you how to love. I feel like you know, So I'm thinking, are we scared to show our emotions to that extent, even now in the 2021, even with relationships, i.e., family? Like family always seems so distant. They themselves were not nurtured. Yeah, they weren't nurtured as well. And on top of that, right? On top of that, the mothering skills was not on point, because I can testify to a few things with my mother. My grandmother was very nurturing. She tried, but the birth mother, like my friend turned me an orphan. My friend turned me an orphan, literally, literally. And it's like unless you're shown love as a woman, I can say, if you don't know love, then you're shown love, then you don't recognize it, or it takes the man ages to show for you to recognize that is really love, that the man love you, because you don't never had it before. You don't know how it feels. You don't know what it feels like. You know, these are, honestly, I know I keep saying conversations, but you know what? To be honest, it's 2021, and I think we should have been having. These are the type of conversations we should be having, like coming into this the millennia which did started, because um a lot of us need to go through a lot of therapy, deep therapy. See, yesterday was talking about self-esteem of the young ladies, the mummy issues, the daddy issues. Like, when do you get over that? Or do you always go and seek validation or what you think is love? Oh, oop- oops, hold on, let me get you. That's it. Oop, oop.
You got me up here by myself.
I'm trying to fix the screen's going on. I'm thinking, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi,
Oh, it's a
yeah.
great topic that you got going on.
Yeah, Transformers, Robot Machine, the Sky. Sorry, I've got to do that bit.
Yeah.
Because I keep calling you Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. Only you can say that, right? So I'm not offended when you say that, so it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Because this subject, I think I was meant to do it the other day, but then I got sidetracked by the other drama. But yeah,
Hmm.
yes. This has to be spoken about, because like it's like we don't, like, men and women. Okay, it's like we don't know what really love is. We think we know what love is.
Yeah.
We think, or we reckon, but sometimes it's not the right thing we're looking for. And then when you do get something good that looks like what it is, you
Hmm.
reject it. You know what I mean? And then I mean, I've had the I've had the good. I've had the good. I've had someone show me what truly love is. It's not because when you're just knowing it like on a sexual level, which is not the best
Yeah.
thing. But when you know it on another level where like it's constant, it's consistent, it's and he's being a bit more different to all the other men, and then you're thinking, oh, this is funny, this is strange. So I think well, I reckon some women reject it because they don't know what it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing about love, I've been in love a few times in my life. I mean, I'm talking about real love, like
Mm,
relationships.
mm,
And the thing is, the difficulty in this modern time is that we have people that deny their emotions, and that's
mm,
why we see such high usages of substances to cope with, you know, certain forms of mental illness, whether it be post-traumatic stress disorder, um, dementia, whatever it is. The list goes on, right? But
mm,
the thing is, I think it goes into a lot of people are using substances or abusive behaviors to cope for, the emotions that they've been taught by the society to mask,
mm,
because of the fact that they don't know how to handle themselves emotionally. Like, there's a thing called emotional intelligence, and
mm,
and, and there's a lot of people that's not emotionally intelligent. So when it gets down to it, you know, my first time falling in love, I was 20 years old, and I was in college, and it was just a great thing. But one of the main things is that we were able to share our most intimate thoughts,
mm,
aspirations, or even some of the tragedies that we suffered, and
mm,
being able to be with that person in order to try to find a form of healing from each other and
mm,
comfort.
mm,
And so, like, that's pretty much one of the formula to love, to like finding love. But uh what I find is that there, because of the trauma that people suffer throughout their lives, the abuse and things of that nature, you know some there is the greatest fear is being yourself and being
mm.
open to accepting love from another from someone outside of yourself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Especially when you haven't been in tune with yourself and found inner love already. So,
Mm,
you know, um, so it's just one of those things where people are, they're in states of trauma. Like they've dealt with so much trauma through their past relationships. People have associated love when it comes down to sexual activities,
Yes.
and that is the furthest thing from the truth, because um, even myself going into a state of denial at a few points in my life, and just like, it's, man, everybody playing games, all these women playing games. I'm gonna just
Mm,
hit the streets like any other man. And the thing is, there was a form of depression that came over myself,
mm,
that um that actually was, one of my saddest points. And I had money, I was, doing my thing and all that, all the things of vanity in my life. But the thing is, there was no connection with anybody. And also I felt bad about even the activities that took place in. And
mm,
so, it's just one of the things that our society, but now I've learned to actually accept. Uh, I want to be making it about myself, but I'm just saying for anybody out there, being able to accept your emotions,
mm,
and express it and not be ashamed of it is right now it's the bravest thing that you can do in this society. Period.
mm,
You know what I mean? It's the bravest thing that a human being can do in a Western society right now. Is be a genuine human being and having
mm,
high levels of emotional intelligence.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. It's true because
yeah.
because uh because I definitely feel that how I probably would know love now because I've
Hmm.
had a true one. I mean, I've had all the bad boys, obviously, but I've had a true one.
Yeah.
I've had a true one, and it was different. It was different because he is like he was saying, no, I'm not like all the others. But when meant to me, when a man
Hmm.
says that, then you're expecting him to do the worst, right? Because because then because I've had my expectations heightened at one time. Oh, I'm not like all the others, and then afterwards, right, he goes and he does the same thing the other men do. So
Exactly. Yeah.
so so then the woman's like, oh my god, why did Jesus, whatever. Why did I get into this thing with this person now? Because like now she's in the worst predicament thinking it's love, and then she's falling for the guy.
Hmm.
Because like you can be ice cold like the ice queen, and then like your heart, it's like a man could just come and warm up the heart, the arteries, and then afterwards, right, you're like, and then he just goes and does something, and then you're like, what? Like really? I mean, I mean, what I try not to do now, now I'm 47 now. What I try
Hmm.
not to do now is I go by the words now. I listen very carefully, and even now, I mean, I've had the little like, oh yeah, like you, da, 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 and I just look at him like, really, is it? So you didn't notice me all this time, all these years, like, so you wait till now to tell me, like, now I've got how many children in line, like, it doesn't make no sense to me, and I think like this is where some women go wrong. They don't listen to I mean, I'm not saying you're not putting you in the category, but they don't
Hmm.
listen to the words of the man, what he's saying, because the man actually give himself away in parts. Is not what he says. Is no, it's not how he says it. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying
Hmm.
because um men. I know men are very visual beings. Yes, you men are very visual
Oh
on
yeah. Yeah.
outside, da, 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 da. But women, well, some women tend to look at what's going on in the mind, in the brain on with him. So when he's talking about, well, I used to be all over the place, but now I'm like this, and then you're like, is it? Or maybe your spring step has gone a bit
Yeah.
the other way, and
Yeah.
now like, oh my god, I'm getting old. I need a woman or something to keep me
Hmm.
fires burning. I'm like, is it? So what I tend to do now, I tend to listen, and if I think, or they say, oh, but you don't call me, I'm like, is it really? But because because I want better for myself as an older woman. I'm not prepared to get anything less. Because before, when I was going for the less, the
Yeah.
less was ridiculous. The less was ridiculous. I mean, I even did try out the younger one, the younger man, the 39-year-olds, that is, not 20-year-olds, but the 39-year-old. And he was like a baby. He was going on like a baby. I felt like I was talking to my child. And I just got so fed up. And it's like, it's nice to have all that, I suppose, attention as a woman and da 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 da. But then after a while, you're just thinking, boy, I just want a companion. I just want some kind of conversation, or
Hmm.
let's go here, let's go there, because that's all love as well. Because people
Yeah.
seem to think the physical is the important stuff. Yes, the physical is the bonus to me. I think that's a bonus. If you get that right, I mean, like, you're just right, you're just skipsy. But it's just that you need a bit more. I think you need to aim for the stars, like the love, like you need the compassion from the man, compassionate. He needs to empower you. You need to empower him, even if you can't give him as lot in the other way. Because the first thing men say is, "What can you do for me?" So you're looking at him, so what can you do for me?
Hmm.
But some men take it like, oh my God, oh, so you're trying to control me. It's not about that. I just need to know what and what and what. And like, so is it going to be both ways? Or, but like, because in with the submission thing, sorry, I know I'm going all over the place.
Oh
In
no,
with the,
it's your show. You sure show.
no, because I tend to go over the place. I tend to
Oh
talk over.
no, that's a good thing on YouTube. I wish I could do it a whole lot better. When I first started, I was a lot better at that. But you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get better. Um, yeah, the submission thing, which some men have a thing about. Oh, she must be submissive. Do you know what? A woman would only give you what you give to her, right?
yeah,
And if you are abusive in certain ways and this and that and that, but first she'll put up with it. Yes, she will. Yeah,
yeah,
because she loves you,
yeah.
right? So even if you don't love her that much, she'll love you because like men say that women are emotional. In some cases, that's not always the case, right? But
Hmm.
so but if you want her to do the cooking and be at home and whatever, then you have to do something to make her be at home and do that and whatever. But at the end of the day, right, she still got to have something for her to do to keep her going, because she can't just be the housewife all the time. And I as well. And I'm not being a feminist. I'm just saying in general, that's some women cases, and there is some independent women out there who like men who's under something, you know. So I'm trying to talk at both sides. I'm trying to look like both ways,
Yeah,
but
because I'm hearing that some I've heard younger women now in their 20s on YouTube talking about they want to be stay-at-home wife. They don't want to work at all. So
mm,
yeah, so it's, I guess a new it's generational difference now. You know,
mm,
even
mm,
going as far as talking about the divestment community. You know what I
mm,
mean?
mm,
Where they if viewing that, well, white men are more stable and more able to provide the stay-at-home mom
mm,
scenario.
mm.
So you have both. But I don't mean to cut you off on it. But
No, it's okay. It's okay.
mhm,
It's okay. It's okay. Because it's true. It's well, it's true because for a woman to be comfortable, and to be honest, I have been comfortable at one point, right? Where I was so comfortable because I'm quite a slim girl, a small girl. I was so comfortable, I started to put on weight because I'm a shorty, I'm a small girl, short and slim in it. So I was
yeah,
so comfortable. The man had me so whipped as well, right? Right. He was making sure he was cooking as well. He was cooking, he was making sure my children was okay. It wasn't even his children, he was making sure that the children was okay. He was like making sure there was food on the table all the time. The children was like, he made sure the children was close. It's like I hardly had anything to worry about. So when I started my business, he was backing me. He was saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Like you
hmm,
started your massage or whatever. Come, like do other stuff." So when you got that side, both sides doing that for you, well, doing not for you, but doing that, with you, right, then you're able to excel. Then you start looking a bit more healthier in the face because you're more at ease. So when I see happy women, I say the ones who are really happy, it's not just the front because like they're going through domestic violence in the background because sometimes that be happening as well. And you can really see the love between the couples because I'm a sucker for weddings and stuff. So when you see that, you're like, wow, like I don't feel bitter that is happening. And it's nice when a man's able to provide, but you also have to be able to have something else going on while he's doing that as
Yeah.
well. You know, so
Oh, I
yeah.
understand that. Yeah, because sometimes you just, like you say, you just get complacent, and
Mm,
like I was in a relationship where a woman did that with me, where she just got complacent,
mm,
and things start to, but we had cycles in within that relationship where that issue was addressed. She did her best to change up, so
mm,
like I was with that woman for 6 years,
mm.
So,
That's not bad.
yeah,
That's like
but
marriage.
yeah, I know. Yeah, but I mean, she had a point where she wasn't working, and all I did was work at one point, and so
Mm,
it was nice to have that. But then I also, that's why I tell women, you don't want to get into a place. Even my mom, I've heard her and her friends, talk about how they actually got to a point where they start deifying the man,
mm,
um, and like the man is almost God in their life. He
mm,
becomes a God figure,
mm.
and then that can be dangerous. That's dangerous in a sense of sometimes you can get to a place where you start to believe that the man is a mind reader,
Mm,
but he don't know, and then you're not actually expressing. Communication kind of falls off, and
mm.
sometimes it falls off due to your reverence and respect for him. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, it's not necessarily because you disrespected him. It's just the the reverence of him being this great man in your eyes, or almost a deity, because it
Mm,
happens for some women, especially when they're younger,
mm,
um, that they don't feel like they can address some of their issues or gripes, or like the guy, he knows but he's not addressing. He knows but he just don't care,
mm,
that kind of thing. So
mm.
yeah, so I tell women, if I give advice to women about that, just the line of communication is very important. Um, and if you're in a situation where you don't feel as if you can share uh, your your gripes, or your whatever grievance that you have, it's just like a job. To get to a point where you work, where your grievances, you feel like they go unanswered, it's time for another job.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Mhm.
Because it's the same. It's the same as with the sexual encounters as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some men will turn that into a bloody chore, and you're thinking to yourself, "Well, I'm not just here for that, right? I do have a brain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do actually function." But some men like to see women in certain predicament, and then they say, "Oh yeah, because I love you," or because I check for you, as they say, right? Most West Indians, "Oh, I check for you," and then in fact, right, they're saying that how I mean, because some men don't say love; they say sometimes they put in another word, right?
Yeah.
So, so, so if you really check for me, as you say, or whatever, right, you'll make sure that how she's able to do certain things because some women don't know their potential sometimes. Some women doesn't know their potential unless it's not spelled out to you sometimes. You don't even see your not your worth. I wouldn't say your worth, but you don't see how how broad, how wide you are because
Mhm.
you put yourself in such a delusional space, right? Until, like I said, until someone comes and wakes you up and say certain things to you, then you think, oh yeah. But that's why I think our emotions. I mean, a black man don't necessarily have to cry and break down and cry
Oh,
or
no, no,
or
no.
submit and kiss your
Most
foot.
times, most times I believe that sometimes some I would say when it happens, it's it can be sincere, but then like
Yeah.
when a man get to a certain age, like I
Yeah.
understand a guy in his 20s and stuff like that,
Mm.
uh, but or sometimes you guys can have mental issues or whatever.
Yes.
But a healthy minded man, I've seen where the crying was a form of manipulation. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen that too. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily saying that. I mean, the thing is, when you're more in tune with your emotions, you know, you will be able to understand. Okay, like, well, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling disappointed, or whatever, and then
Mm.
you take the proper um, mitigating actions to um, deal with it accordingly. Or you may just go for a walk or something like that.
Mm.
Like my father and my mom get an argument. He said, "Where's my keys?" So he'd just get in his truck and just leave for
Mm.
a few minutes and maybe go to the store or something. So
Mm.
it's all kind of coping mechanisms. The me and crying is like I kind of I side eye it to a certain degree unless it's like something where
Mm.
it's like death or something very serious, like
Mm.
that's going on. You know,
Mm. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't I won't tell men to not express themselves if they feeling that, you know.
Mm.
Like I used to work at a warehouse and I seen on Valentine's Day,
Mm.
guys. I was a warehouse manager for a while, and he had guys that actually go into the corners between pallets and stuff, and just boohoo crying on Valentine's Day because their girlfriend is out on a date with somebody else. You
Mm.
know, you
Mm.
know, and I understood. Like I like not judging the person, not judging the guy. I understood. Like some men they handle things like that differently. A lot of people don't deal with rejection or whatever it is. Um, they don't deal with it. Like all men do. You know,
Mm. Mm.
so
Mm. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But the guy was having a sincere moment. That's what I was seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never judged him for it.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. It's
Mhm.
true because sometimes we don't see that often. You see, what I mean, because everyone's trying to be the tough cookie. Even the women try to be
Oh
tough,
yeah.
tough. But on the inside, you know what's so strange, right? You get the
Hmm.
toughest talking women. Sorry, I sound like nature
Yeah.
boy. Toughest talking women, and you know what? They're quite soft on they're not soft on the inside. Some women are quite. I know it's the same with some men, where like they're
Hmm.
like big scary teddy bears, big scary bears, right? And then
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you get closer, it's the total opposite, you know? It's the
Yeah.
total opposite. All that growling goes, all that roaring goes sometime in most cases because some people have to keep on a tough persona as well all the time. So they don't know
Well,
when.
like you just look at YouTube. The fiercest women on here, pretty much all of them have substance abuse issues. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it shows you that it's not necessarily just lick of courage. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? A lot of times, that what you see on like in even with other substances too.
Mm.
What you're seeing online is a lot of times that alone. You know,
Mm.
um, and it's you could then what you can understand when that's going on is not necessarily coming. It's not. I ain't gonna say necessarily, but it's not coming from a sincere place. And
Mm.
we see you can see the suffering based upon the substance abuse. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So
Mm.
there is the softness and the suffering and like all other human beings, the average man or woman,
Mm.
but they're
Mm.
using coping mechanisms, outside of themselves uh to broadcast this tough persona, you know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, keeping up appearances basically in it,
Yeah.
because I was very cold person. I didn't know how to show my emotions. I don't know how
Hmm.
to show emotions. You see how Fumdi Fee can break down on her lives and talk. I don't know whether you watch Fumdi Fee. When Fumdi Fee is talking,
Yeah.
right? She'll be talking about something, and then her emotions will switch. Then she cries. She literally cries in front of the camera, whatever the subject is, or whatever she's covering, or whatever hack she's talking about. And
Hmm.
so when you're very cold, because I'm a little bit like my mom in certain ways, I ain't gonna lie, right?
Yeah.
Right, where it could be very cold hearted woman, ice cold. And like I said, it takes, I don't know, I'm not gonna say a prince or something. It takes a heater to cool that ice down um because like I said, in childhood environments, right? When you're not seeing a your parents hug or whatever, or sometimes most of the time, right, you're seeing arguments as you growing up. You're seeing arguments. You
Hmm.
see a lot of turmoil, a lot of whatever going on. So I mean, I think it just takes the love is not shown there, and sometimes when they do show you love, when they do really do it, is normally with materials or something, and after a while, it's like when you meet a part, I don't know,
Hmm.
partner, mate, right? You don't know how to show that emotion to another because you wasn't taught that. You haven't seen that love connection, and and also I think with abused children, right? Because I can say I was one of them, right?
Yeah.
You only attach that to sexual connotations. So not unless someone comes and shows you otherwise, right, which turns it another way, then you will see, well, I could say the worth, like what you're for that you're worth more than just a sexual encounter as well. I don't know whether I put it in the right way. I don't know.
Oh no, I get what you're saying, but I think that's where the individual has to do self exploration emotionally for themselves throughout their life,
Mm,
even after trauma. You know,
yes.
because like I my childhood wasn't perfect. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
now I think one of the main things I had that, as far as an advantage, my mom mostly was a stay at home mom. You know,
mm, mm,
so I had my mother was outstanding. You know what I'm saying? As a
mm,
mother, like she is a plus plus, and
mm,
I'm not just saying it because she's my mother, but just like the things that she went through, um, and like being able to have an adult or having a woman that when your emotions like it advances you a lot compared to a lot of people. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
Um, I mean emotionally, I mean, like
mm,
emotional intelligence is, a woman like that can give their children high levels of emotional intelligence,
mm,
um, and being able to accept your humanity. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the main things about it is we have to get to a place of accepting the humanity of our situations,
mm,
of who we are, being able to say, like even like myself with the campaign that was out against me,
mm,
the main thing they were trying to say, I love somebody. And I
mm,
thought about it like a last week, and I said, it's not a bad thing if somebody said I love them, right? even
mm,
even even in the whole thing. So I just say, I will accept that accusation, right?
mm.
And it's cool. I mean, it's nothing like what I'm saying. It's nothing wrong with someone saying I love the woman, no matter how toxic the person may have been. But
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing for someone to say that. You know what I
Mm,
mean? But it just goes to show the emotional intelligence of most people uh, out here is that it's some kind of way a bad thing for some people to love another person. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
and it's not, and it's not a it, to me, it's not even a stigma.
Mm,
So it's a good thing, actually, right?
yes.
So, and I think that most of us, we need to get to a place where we can start accepting the truth about our emotions and what we really want and desire and who we really want to be. And I
Mm,
think, like even when I be in the sobriety sector, right?
mm,
And I be over the sobriety sector. I've been hanging out with Misunderstood and her section of YouTube,
mhm,
and it's amazing to see how people, when they want to come out of their dark place in life,
mhm,
how one of the main tools about coming out of that is acceptance and honesty. You know,
mm, mm.
and because what you're trying to do is get away from the substances, but what makes you go to it in the first place? You know,
Yeah,
the lie that you,
yeah.
or the lie, or the ego, or the persona
Mhm,
that, because some people will get high based upon, um it makes them feel cool,
mm,
right? And
mm.
so, like, a lot of it has to do with not being honest with emotions, or not being honest with, there's a tragedy that you suffered and you're masking it through substance abuse. I
Mhm.
don't want to make this about a sobriety thing, but in essence, it really, we look at a lot of the tragedies that of people not accepting who they are through their, and denying their emotions. It leads to these tragedies that affect, not only themselves but people around them.
Yes, yes, but it's a good point that you touched on that, because people numb their emotions as well. It all depends on how severe whatever's happened to them too. I think
Hmm.
they numb it to such a level that um that it takes over the entire life. And
Yeah.
um I mean, touch wood. I'm touching wood. Um, I would not want to be in that circumstances, because I've
Hmm.
heard a lot of horror stories dealing with that side of things, and yeah, I mean, that's just a whole. No, that's just a deeper conversation. But it's whether
Oh
people want to.
yeah, 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 yeah. But
But
it shows how like the extreme of it actually shows how
yeah,
powerful the denial of who you are
oh
and your
yes,
emotions,
yes,
uh like that denial, how negatively it can affect you because
yes.
of it, because of the denial,
Yes,
you
yes,
know.
and yes, and people don't want to talk about things that is affecting them physically, in mentally,
Hmm.
um, all the above, because, um, like I said, I can only use myself as an example. Like with my children, particularly, right, my children sometimes they said, "Mum, you was right. You was a good mum, but." Then they start listing a whole set of stuff. Oh, but you didn't, right? You didn't hug us unless you didn't say I love you unless, da, 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 da.
Hmm.
'Cause my children's very outspoken. You see, so, so, so they're able to say, "Well, Mum, right, this, and Mama, oh, but I didn't like it at the time. But you are a good mum, whatever, and we love
Yeah.
you." Like, but but also it's when a child says I love you and you're not used to saying it. So my children recognize, okay, like, so they try to do it another way. They try to find another way. But I think in the end, right, when you do say I love you to another human being, or one that you have created
Hmm.
per se, right, it feels so different, I suppose, especially if you haven't done it before. So, um, yeah, so I know there is a lot. There needs to be a deeper understanding, and I think this is where I'll say ethnicities probably have one over the black community on certain things,
Yeah.
because 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 when people talk about their families and their mums, seeing their mums with the dads, and, and then you weren't brought up in that environment, so you're trying to understand it on the flip side as well, because you right, because like you've never seen the togetherness, you've never seen whatever. The only time you see is, to me, it's like fake for your family, when you see the fake of your family, the smiles, the laughter,
Hmm.
and then it's not real. It's not a real love. And then the only time, right, you'll see people truly, which I say are people, and whether the indigenous kids include themselves on this, right? The only
Yeah.
time you see our people is when there's a death, a birth, and then that's when you see the tears and whatever. And then the birth, yeah, right, you see the smiles, you know, like the christening or whatever.
Hmm.
So that's the only time, like, it seems like that's when we show our emotions mostly, but it's always at funerals. The majority of the time is funerals, like when we're there. And you shouldn't have to wait for funerals and stuff to happen, a death to happen, because like you got to try and talk to the ones who made you that way, which is what I do with my mum. I tried to talk to my mother on several occasions and try to call her out on a lot of things. Now my mum, I think her issues was she was not an emotional being. She never was. She never was. She never shown that side of her. It's only now she's got older. Now she's a little bit like, oh, but she's on the other
Yeah.
side of the world, which
Yeah.
is which makes no sense. You can't show me because you're all across the world. I mean, the words mean something, but words is like water. You can say words. You can say "I love you." Some people can fake "I love you." It don't mean nothing. It's all in the actions mostly. Sometimes, right, you don't have to say nothing. I love you can be in actions. You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, because actions speak louder than words. So,
Exactly.
so to me, even if you're in contact with somebody, like in your situation per se, because to be honest, it could have worked. It would
Hmm.
have worked if the female, if she was really who she was
Hmm.
to be, right, it would have worked because she would have been right. She would have been transparent, right, and
Yeah.
more there cause like because like I kind of been in that situation, kind of, but not that
Hmm.
deep. I didn't get that deep, but I know what's it like. But at the same time, the reason why I won't entertain it because like you're not here next door
Hmm.
to me, so I would never do the distance ones at all. I don't see there's no the distance ones don't work. And 90 Day Fiance is shows that
Oh
one
yeah. 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 Yeah.
because they can tell you whatever they want to tell you.
I mean, in truth, like, and I hate to keep going back to it, but
I know, Carl, they want
I did not actually put everything out there that will, or like, that really could have just, like, I was on Misunderstood's channel last night, and me and her talked on the phone, and I let her hear a voicemail. You know what I mean? And the voicemail pretty much it tells a lot that
mm,
when the woman left,
mm,
and the perspective that they try to put out on me for that, it flips once you hear it. You know what I mean?
mm,
And like, even still, I didn't put that on the internet. You know what I mean?
mm,
But that whole thing, but the thing is, even talking to someone in a distance, and what I would say, the true person that I've known for that
mm,
time, um, was not the person that people saw on the internet at all. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
And that's the only reason why I didn't really do the things I could have did, as far as all that whole thing. But
mm,
you know, that's why I even go to the point of, like, the truth is, I left that situation. She didn't leave me. You know what I mean?
mm,
And the voicemail shows you that. You know what I'm saying? But
mm,
the whole thing is, the reason why, a lot, like I was saying earlier, is when you start to, like, I found out a formula to dealing with people is, like, when you can find out their human baseline of who they
yeah,
are,
yeah,
as at the core of their personality. um,
mm,
that's the person that you're gonna have to really deal with.
mm,
um, and finding that a person is like, either they're paranoid, scared, or they got issues that need to iron out. Like you was there that night that even you seen the text message where she said
Yeah. Yeah.
that she wasn't good enough, whatever. And that really was the truth how she felt. But it was
Mm,
because of the substance abuse, like I said, and
mm,
it goes back to not truly being honest with a person being honest with themselves,
mm,
and a person not accepting, a person also wanting to be known as this greater than being human type of individual publicly in the public sphere. You know what I mean? And that could play a role in degrading any relationship that that person wants to encounter or be with a
mm,
healthy mind, with a healthy minded person. You know what I mean?
mm.
Who's accepted their frailties as a human being. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's the thing is about being strong. Like when you go to the gym, and say you got like when I was younger, I had very strong legs.
Mm,
I could squat almost 900 pounds
mm,
at 20. Like
mm,
when I was like 16, I think I squatted like 750 in the gym.
mm, mm,
You know, like free weights, right?
mm,
But my upper body was kind of weak. You know what I
mm.
mean? I could
Yeah.
squat like yeah. So like the whole thing is my upper body was weak. I had long arms because I was still growing. And the thing is, it was more beneficial for me to do what? Get in the gym and work on my upper body, the weak areas, versus the strengths as much.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Versus what God has naturally given me.
mm.
And and I think that's where like your growth emotionally has to be also like, what triggers you? You know what I mean? What
Yes.
causes you to be depressed? What causes you
Yeah.
trauma?
Yep.
And facing that and going beyond your fear. Because
Yep.
beyond your fear is where freedom lies.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. And I think like what you said, like, and I think even listing them then triggers as well does
Uh-huh.
help.
Yeah.
Listing them and kind of facing them. Like at first, I had an anxiety for not going out the door after the lockdown, and
Yeah.
I didn't take my baby nowhere. And then I started taking her out a little more, and then slowly learning to go back out a
That is
little
phobia.
because the phobia, but it's anxiety as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of anxiety, but you don't really. I thought I didn't have anxiety. I didn't know what that word was. Oh no,
Hmm.
I knew what the word was. Sorry, but I didn't know I had anxiety. And
Yeah.
and so I think when I mean, I know I always talk about my list. The list is very important because I'm going to do a Queen Afua section sooner or later.
Yeah.
I think before the Beastmas, I'm going to do the Queen Afua section because there's certain sections of Queen Afua book that's actually quite helpful to. I wish I bought the men one now. That's quite helpful because the journaling does actually help. Writing list. I mean,
Hmm.
writing list affirmation like Neil Chapa was doing earlier on one of the videos I put up earlier, where he's doing affirmations. He's literally looking at himself and doing affirmation. I tried to do affirmation, but I think is being consistent with it. You have to be consistent, and I think that's why I enjoy getting on YouTube because it's consist. I'm very consistent with the YouTube as well. So there's being consistent. So what's the next thing? Like they said, the routine is what people need to, pardon me, write their triggers. That's a wonderful point. Work on your weaker areas. See,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Christine is agreeing with you, and
Hmm.
so writing down your triggers, what triggers you the worst, which I think I'm gonna do as well. I think I'm gonna challenge myself to do that over the stupid holiday,
Hmm.
and then and then I mean yeah, trying to show love. I mean, I show love to the smallest one of the family,
Yeah.
but to the bigger ones, I don't. Not that much, anyway. Not that much. I wouldn't say I don't. Not that much. So um, I have to learn to do it, and I think that's why I put we are like, are we scared to show our emotions? Pardon me, but it's
Oh
not
yeah.
just. I'm not aiming it at. I know I'm aiming it at myself. Well, not aiming it at
Hmm.
myself prominently, but I know there's a lot of people who have that issue with themselves. I'm not prepared to
Yeah,
say.
I think a lot of people know that they have issues within themselves. But like I said, the one of the main things is like Teddy Roosevelt wrote "The Man
Mm,
in the Arena."
yes,
You know, same thing. Like when people, especially people in your life that love you, and everybody has their own love language. A lot
yes,
of times, people just want to see that you are in the arena. You
yes,
know, just like see that you are there and present in their times of need. You know, uh, like if they're in a hospital and they're your family member, and you took the time to visit, call, do whatever. Even if it's sending flowers because you couldn't be
You hear
there.
me?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
Yeah,
definitely.
I thought. Yeah, I thought I'd. I've been listening.
How you doing?
Oh,
How you doing,
I'm good.
Christina?
I'm good. I'm
My
good.
first time talking to you.
That was a really interesting point about
Mhm.
working on your weaker areas.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, yeah. Even in athletics, that's where the growth is. Um, is
Parents do that. Parents encourage you to work on your strengths, and yet they don't encourage you to work on your weaknesses. It's like put your
yeah,
weaknesses aside. No, we're not supposed to put our weaknesses aside. We're supposed to work on them. I love that
yeah,
yeah,
point. I love how you put
yes,
it.
yeah. He put it really nice. I like how he put it. He put it like in a nice little box.
yeah. I mean, that's where the
Are we hearing?
dynamic of that's what
Yeah,
that's how you become dynamic.
mm,
When you take the time to work on those areas that are weak in your whatever
Can you
craft
hear
that you.
me?
yeah. I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
He did. Absolutely. He did. He put it in.
Yeah,
And the other
yeah,
thing that you talked about was the triggers. And we all have them because we're all traumatized. I said that yesterday.
yeah.
Mhm.
We're healing, don't we?
Hmm.
But many of us don't actually know what we even need healing from.
Yes.
It's hating what you need healing from. Where do your traumas start? Where did they begin? Most of our traumas actually start in our childhood. They absolutely start with our childhood. Octavius
Mm,
Yeah.
Prime is really lucky. He had a fantastic mum. Like you, I didn't have a fantastic mum. She was
mm,
um she was a functional mum.
mm,
Absolutely excellent functional mum. Probably one of the most resourceful women, one of the cleverest women I've ever met.
mm,
But emotionally she was dead.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, she was emotionally different, honestly. Really, really bad. The other thing about her is my mum was one of these kind of women that would draw all her children aside individually to slaughter my father. That
Ah,
then, yeah, that then transferred from my father to me. To the,
Hmm.
mm,
yeah, I mean, it was like seriously. Yes, very, very seriously. Yeah. So what she did was make all the children hate their father, which they did. Five out
mm,
of the six of us. Um, I wouldn't hate him. I couldn't hate him. I didn't see why I should. So
mm,
she, so then she hated me for that. And it was soon before my father died. Um, helped to look after him while my mum went to work. And she came in this Saturday evening, and she said hi to both myself and my dad. And she looked at me and she said, like, I love your jacket. And I said, do you want it? I was taking it off to give to her. And my father said, don't give her anything because she doesn't like you. Now I'm 30 years old. I didn't
Hmm.
have a clue. I didn't have a clue she despised me. But the reason she despised me was because she couldn't break me in terms of not loving my father, which is really, really sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. And he even told me in front of her, he told me things to make me believe him, I guess. He told me things that she told him that really was between me and her, because I think that children must be able to go to either parent without them repeating anything that you say to anybody else. It should be
Hmm.
between you and them. I've always done like that with my son. It's between he and I. Obviously, if it's going to impact his life, my life, or somebody else's life, then that's different. But something that's personal to you, your mother should not discuss it with nobody. And he told me stuff. He also told me before he did, he also told me on that same evening,
Mm.
I hell when I'm gone. And 9 months later, she really did. And and for 20 odd years, I don't count anymore because it's not necessary. My father died in 1989, and for 27 years, none of my brothers and sisters spoke to me at all.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No,
Yeah.
it's cool. I'm cool. I've dealt with it. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mhm.
I'm good. Yeah, because I've done a lot of the work that I've needed to do to
Mm.
to to heal myself. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I had to do really is remove myself from one of my siblings. That was hard. That was really, really tough. But I think once I did that, it made it easier to break from anybody that I needed to break from. Because often we stay in relationships and we know that those relationships are killing us, probably killing the other person as well. But we continue to stay in them for whatever reason, habitual. We don't know what it is, what reason we stay in these relationships for. But I find that since breaking that relationship with my sister and walking away from her, um, I've been able to do that with other people as well.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I'm not holding on to toxicity in my life. I can remove it. I can detach myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. 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 Because some
Are you
family,
going?
because sometimes even family is not. It's not.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, it's the person.
Are you going?
Yeah. I'll drop the ring
Just
back.
excuse me a sec, because I'm just say that
I'll
again.
drop the ring back and get it to
I'll
Alice.
put you
No, I
on
can
mute.
walk and go and get it. It's not a problem.
Come on.
I don't. I'm not. I'm on the phone.
All right, then.
Yeah. Okay. They've got plans for me.
Mm. Oh, you're busy. You're busy.
I'm always busy. I.
That's why I can't get her up here half the time.
That's
When
why
she comes, I'm just like, oh my
I
God,
am.
Christine. I'm waiting for Miss
I'm always
White.
Yeah. It's
busy.
my first time talking to her.
Yeah. 'Cause-
I'm looking after. I look after one of my brothers who's poorly, so I'm always busy.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I'm staying. Yeah, I'm staying. Despite them not speaking to me, I'm still the one that steps in. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is always the way, isn't it?
it absolutely is. Yeah, it
It's always,
absolutely is.
And you
yeah.
It's
went with
been
the
tough.
heart in the family.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Anyone needs anything, I'm the one that's going to be there, but the one that's least respected. And I've grown to accept that. I've grown to accept that. So when you're talking about triggers, I'm gonna get triggered by all these people.
Mm.
Hmm.
Do you follow me?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
I'm essentially a very, very honest person, always have been. So anything used to happen growing up, I just step in and say, yeah, I did it. I just hold up my hand and say I did it. But I get beaten down for every single thing I've done. Every single thing I used to get beaten down for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate to that. I think because
So now, how do you know if somebody truly loves you or they don't love you? It's very hard, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. It
It-
is. It is. But it also that like and you also got to measure it through adversity. And I used to just say, "Oh, people don't have to go through adversity."
Mm.
But to a certain degree, people have to go. Like when you're going through adversity, you'll see who your friends are. You know.
Yes. Yeah. True.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is so, so true. That is so,
Yeah.
so true. Yeah, yeah. Again, I've got a little nephew. He was born at 24 weeks, so very, very prematurely, and lucky to be alive.
Mm.
But he's the first person I've ever met who's so in touch with his emotions. It's amazing. I love it. I
Mm.
absolutely
Yeah.
love it because I wish I could than holding on and suppressing,
Mm.
you know, what you feel because you don't want people to perhaps reject you for saying, you know, what you need to say. This little boy just reacts at every single point, at every stage, he reacts. So if he's feeling high, he lets you know. If he's low, he lets you know. He just
Oh,
takes off
hold
his
on.
emotions, and
Hold on.
it's fabulous.
Oh, carry on talking. I think they come to fix my thing. Hold.
Okay, no probs.
Yeah.
You can hear the door here? It's like Piccadilly Circus.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, but I understand what he put. See, the thing is, being who you are, truthfully, with your emotions is, like I said, it's the bravest thing, and
It absolutely
it's
is.
the most it's the bravest and the most liberating
It's
thing.
liberating.
Yes.
It absolutely is very, very liberating. I
Mhm.
think that people get to know who you actually are rather
Yeah.
than what they may perceive you to be. They actually get to know who you are because you're working directly from your emotions. So you're up, they know you're up. You're down, they know you're down.
Yeah.
And you spoke again about emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
And many of us are not emotionally intelligent. We're not. We're so not emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
We're really, really not. Otherwise, we wouldn't trigger.
Yeah. Because what happens is, like, I was a supervisor for many years, and I've been in a lot of leadership positions in my life. And
Mhm.
when you have subordinates, the main thing they're going to try to do is find a way to trigger you as
Absolutely, absolutely.
as a boss. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know
Put
what I
you
mean?
down. Put you
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Yeah. And,
of
and the
course.
thing is, when you're in a management position, you can't just be like a regular floor worker and just start
Yeah,
using expletives, on demand because you emotionally triggered. You
yeah,
know, you can't do that. And you
yeah.
can always just say, "Oh, I'm gonna write the person up." That's vengeance. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you can't even do all that. So it's sometimes like being in that position for years.
You
It
must go
trained me.
home and punch holes in walls.
No, what it actually taught me how to deal with people
Yeah.
and understand sometimes, like, okay, oh, it's you know you might find out, okay, like I used to I was a manager overnight for many years, and then because of that, a lot of the men suffered horrible relationships. uh, e- uh, you know, myself included. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
Being that we worked over and I worked third shift for the most part, right? And when we get new guys, a lot of times there would be breakups. Breakups with the men were common, and then when they're going through this thing where their girlfriend or their wife done broke
Mhm.
bad on them, it's a whole process of like dealing with that worker or that man. You know what I'm saying? Just let
Mhm.
him just like go through a form of expression, but also reminding him that he has to be respectful too
Yeah.
while while he's going through his emotional
Yeah.
turmoil. You know,
Don't you
and
find though that men lack emotional intelligence, and I think it's because they've always been told, oh, it's not. Oh, boys don't cry. You've got to
Yeah.
be strong. You've got to be that. So
Yeah.
you're not allowed to develop emotionally. Boys are not allowed to develop emotionally
well,
at all.
being a leader, I'm gonna give you a secret to men. A lot of times, the man that is a leader is emotionally intelligent. You can't see the thing is you can't be a leader of men and be in denial about that fact of emotions of with men that are subordinate to you. You know,
Is
and I
is
worked.
it is it emotional intelligence or is it a suppression of emotion? So,
No, 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 no. I'm saying when you are
do you
in
know
the
what I mean?
leadership,
Is it
yeah, yeah. But I'm
emotional
saying when you're in a
intelligence or is
leadership
it
position, like
suppression?
no, I'm saying for the men that if men want to excel in life, they have to get to a place of emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
Period. Especially dealing with other men,
Mm.
because like if you're not emotionally intelligent and know, okay, this guy's going through a breakup, his girlfriend probably don't left him, like he's out of character tonight. Let him express himself a little more because he may be going through something or he may have lost a family member and still have to work. And if you don't understand those things, you know what I mean, you will fail at being a leader. So
Yeah.
at some point, men will have to actually learn how to be emotionally intelligent, even master manipulators, like those brother polite types or whatever, or like these scam artists or whatever. They they are emotionally intelligent a lot. That's their way of actually
That's how they get away with it.
yeah, Yeah. 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 You
'Cause
can't be a
nothing rattles
confidence man or flim flam man without actually knowing how to impress upon the mark confidence.
Yeah,
you're confident. Yeah.
I think the last couple of years where we've had this divot going on, I think that has shown me the emotional intelligence, as you say, of these leaders.
Yeah.
They have been so stoic. I don't know how they're doing it, because Boris, for example, I could tell he was lying. I could tell. And I don't know about you, Osen, but did you notice that Boris was lying? I think last year, when he issued a warning that we should all stay in, blah, 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 I could hear his fear. I could actually hear that fear that he was carrying. And
Yeah.
normally you don't hear no emotions coming from these politicians, none whatsoever.
Nothing.
But I did hear his emotions last year.
He was scared.
He was scared. He was definitely scared last year. Could hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was scared. He was scared, and I think it's also like with my son as well. Like, you see how you're talking about the suppressive emotions. My son was told by his dad that you go on like a woman. See, but my son, he's very expressive. Not only with his mouth, he shows his feelings. He was showing everything. Passionate. He's very passionate because he's all right. I know people hate star signs. He's a Capricorn or somewhere between it. He's a water one, isn't it? So
Yeah.
so he would show it. He would say it and all this, and the father said to him, "Oh, you're acting like a woman," or something like that. So he started going.
Oh wow.
My son started going. All that, and even to his sisters, because his sisters, he's very
Pump out the father.
pumped up.
Thump down him father.
Yeah.
Right.
And he knows he had to hold on to it.
He had to. He had to.
Yeah.
But even with his sisters, he would show his emotions. So when his brother died, right, he couldn't show his emotions. What he did, he took it out on the door here. He mashed up the door, poof, 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 and then he slammed the door. And so all of us in here, because it's pure girls in here, so all of us in here, right, we just left him. But his friends who are males went knock on the door, tried to talk to him, calm him down a little bit. Then when he calmed down, and then the one that come, he said, he goes in, come, let's go, let's take a walk, and then he calmed down, and then he come back in again. So with my son, I never said to him, no, you can't, no, boys don't cry. I never say all that to him.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they have been moments where you want to say it, even though you always say that card, oh, you're just like your dad.
Yeah.
But I have been there where I've said that. But then when he was younger, I always used to let him express himself, right? Because he was the only boy. So he was quite a spoiled boy. He's quite a spoiled little boy. So I used to let him express himself, but I didn't make him express himself. I let him know you're a boy, you're not a girl, little things like that. But I never said, no, you can't cry, you can't do this, you can't do that. But but with the girls, I was more stricter with the girls. It was like, fix your face.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Mom, but when it was him. So
it's I think that's a Caribbean thing anyway. I think that Caribbean moms in particular, they just have this bloody soft spot for their sons, and they spoil them so stupid.
Especially Haitians. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Yeah, right. To be honest, I think it's worldwide. I'm saying Caribbean, but I actually think it's a worldwide thing where, for some reason, let's be honest, and boys' first love is mum. Boys' first love is mum. A girl's first love is dad.
Dad, always.
So, and boys know exactly how to get around mum, and girls know exactly how to get around dad. They do. Yeah. They really, really do. And I think we as moms need to rectify ourselves and start to be dealing with our boys and girls more on an equal level. Boys need to be able to cook. Boys need to be able to clean. Boys need to be able to do certain things. They don't just go out
Oh
to
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Men,
yeah. Because my
and a
ex-girlfriend,
lot of
she's Haitian.
guys leave school with a terrible deficit, leave home with a deficit. They can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Many of them are still taking home their washing. Well, why are you taking home your washing? You can buy a washing machine for 200 quid and do your own washing, but you're still taking it back to mummy, and mummy's washing and ironing for you.
Yeah, I was
You
just
know?
about to say that my
Yeah.
my ex-girlfriend, her brother, and he was all the way up into almost 30, and his mom still was like just making his bed and like everything like
Yeah.
a child. Like I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's ridiculous. A lot of
Yeah.
mums do this. They
Yeah.
spoil their son senseless to the point where a lot of boys don't actually even want to leave home. They don't want to leave home. So there's loads of 30-odd-year-old, 40-odd-year-old guys still living at home. Why? And they have the best of both worlds because they have a woman too, and they have mummy looking after them. I know so many of those guys in Birmingham. I know so many of those guys. And I've also heard, because obviously I'm older than you two, so like I'm talking to people around about my age, women who've still got their 40-odd-year-old sons living at home. Now, can you imagine? Mom is single, yeah. Mom can still get a man.
She can.
But how the hell can she get a man if she got a son standing in the middle? Because they do stand in the middle.
They stand in the middle.
And they do. And the mothers allow them to stand in the middle.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They allow them to stand in the middle.
Yeah.
They
It's
do.
true. It's true because
I mean, what the hell are you doing at home at 40?
yeah,
Leave woman, go find your place and learn, go pay your rent here, boy.
That's one thing, because another thing I had was like my children trying to stand in the way of relationships. Sometimes
Yes.
was right. Sometimes they was right. They was right a couple times, yeah. Other times they wasn't right. And what because my children know me so well, all of them, they even know what type of man I like, which is really mad. And they said, and I was seeing the 39-year-old, and they said to me, Mom, he was trying to take you back into the conscious community, because I split from them kind of thing, innit? So he was talking a certain way. I was thinking, oh, wow. And he was saying, oh, you should turn vegan. And I was like, oh. And I was saying, and my daughter said, I didn't like him, Mum, because he wasn't right for you, because I know you are a certain way. And she said, I can see that wasn't going to go nowhere. She said, Mum, she goes, Mum. She goes, Mum, maybe you was lonely or desperate or something. And I was like, I'm not desperate. I was just giving man a chance. That's what I was. I was giving man a chance, right? Because I'm one of them. I give chances, innit? Right? To prove themselves. You prove yourself. And I said, oh, okay, whatever. But then my friends wasn't feeling it. So once my friends weren't feeling him, my children weren't feeling him, then I had to make a choice. So I said, you know what? Forget it, because like
it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to go nowhere. And when he messed up, when most blokes mess up when they come in here, they don't say hi to the children. They don't greet the children. So my daughters, because they're of age, they're looking at him. And then they draw me one side. Oh, Mum, I don't like him. And I'll be like, oh, no, he's okay. And then the man will show exactly that, what he is.
He's not okay. Yeah, he's not okay. He's not okay.
And I'll be like, and I said from then, that's why now I vet them I listen, and I feel, and they say, but you need to be bigger, you need to be this. I said to him, look right. I never had no problem with man. If you, I said, I don't have problem with man.
Any man who meets you and says he wants to be with you and then starts telling you about your weight didn't want you in the first bloody place, did they? We accept people for who they are, or who we see them as. I mean, what? Is he
Yeah.
going to pay for you to go and have butt implants and breast uplifts and you know, he saw you as this, took you as this, and then wants to change you? No, that's about some form of control business,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
isn't it?
So
hmm
so
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. I've seen that even with my family members where a guy he was using the weight issue, one of
mm,
my family members to manipulate my family member out of
Yeah.
money and things like that. And she was
Wow.
doing the most trying to lose weight and
no.
Yeah,
even
to please a man, to please a
yeah
man
yeah
for a
and
relationship that was never going to last.
yeah,
Uh,
but it was
is
all
that
about, oh, let me borrow some money. He was borrowing money from her. Just drained her. She took out a second mortgage on a house.
mm,
You know,
Why are we so stupid emotionally? You see, it's all emotions, isn't it? It is.
Mhm.
It's
mm,
all wrapped
Yeah,
up in that word, emotions, not knowing how to deal with your emotions, feeling that you have to give in order to receive a little bit of love then.
yeah,
it's
But
like you have to pay for
it ain't
love.
love if you have to give it, is it?
You have
yeah,
paid for love.
You're
yeah.
paying.
Pay for the little
Out,
thing.
listen, enough how we pay for the cocky. Let me be real.
Like I
But
say,
but enough man paid up and pum pum too. Now
oh
come on.
yeah,
You know
Usually
what?
they're being
I'm
real.
not, no, I'm real. I'm just, I'm
yeah. Like it's said, why
just
change just our ways to seek love? Like why you got to change who you are to
You shouldn't have
find?
to.
You
No, you
should.
shouldn't have to. No, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
to. You shouldn't have to change yourself at all
hmm
to please. Well, not if he tells you to change yourself or she tells you to change yourself. No, you change yourself because you want to.
I think that it could be healthy when if someone is a friend and they're encouraging you to be better
Yeah,
when you're in a low frequency state. Like it's one thing to be in a low frequency state, and like you meet a girl and she's eating microwave marshmallows every day. You're like, like, babe,
Yeah.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
no,
That's
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 no
not
good. She's
yeah.
she's feeding some sugar addiction. I mean, what's her mental health like?
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. So
It's got,
it's relative, but it's not. But when it get to a point of like, yeah, to install low self esteem in order to say
gosh,
make you feel lucky enough just to have anybody. Like, you should just feel lucky to even have anybody in your life, especially me. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and write the check. Cut the check. Help me with my business.
mm.
The new pimping is like help me with my business. So
Oh gosh, yeah.
yeah,
That's the straight scammer, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
straight up.
yeah.
Hmm.
Straight up
If
scammer. It's
if you
not
love me, you invest
let's
in
build a
me.
business
Yeah,
together. No,
yeah.
help me with my business.
It was an
Hmm.
old Irish man I used to work with in construction when I first got out of high school. He said, "Dancing is for partners is for dancing." You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Wow. Wow. When will we heal from all the nonsense?
yeah,
Hmm.
I
When
don't
it
know.
when it's late sometime, that's when we learn the lesson.
I don't know if it's ever too late, to be fair. I don't think it's ever too late. If you only
Hmm.
have 6 months of healing, it's better than never have healed at all.
yeah,
Mm.
What I'm finding is younger people have started to heal from a much earlier age, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
mhm,
We've waited a lot longer. Why? We didn't start coming into the awakening until the early 90s, late 1989
Yeah.
to the 90s. That's when we started to come into the awakening.
Hmm.
So my parents, I mean, if my mum was alive, I think she'd be 97.
Hmm.
So
yeah,
100 years old. That's closer to slavery than what we are.
yeah,
Hmm.
So their emotions, their behaviors were really going back to slavery times.
yeah.
Most
And
definitely.
I meant to say that about the subject matter too about slavery.
Yeah, yeah,
They talked about how a lot of the slaves they had to be stoic and reserved with their emotions because at any point you could be sold, your children could be sold off. Mur- Uh,
yeah,
People that you've been with working for years murdered.
yeah,
You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
so it was more of a benefit within the African uh, community as far as slavery and even the Caribbean, all the Americas in general.
Yeah.
To be is reserved and removed from emotions because emotions were reserved for people that were humans, not slaves. You
Not
know,
Mm,
slaves. They
yeah,
were not classed. They were not classed
yeah.
as,
just
what is
human.
it? 5/5, five whatever they
Three
said.
fifths of a human in
That's
America.
right. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right. So
yeah,
you can understand why we're still going through the traumas, because traumas
hmm
pass through generations.
Mm,
yeah.
That's why we're still going through the traumas. We're waking up and we're recognizing that we need to
I
heal
might do a
from.
video on that. 3/5 of a human.
yeah, you
Yeah.
should.
Yeah, but on that subject matter, just talking about because like they even have the slave narratives in America where they interview ex-slaves.
Yes, I was listening to that before. I was
Hmm.
listening to that before all this thing with they're saying, "Oh, it doesn't exist," and da, 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 da. I
Oh
listened
man, yeah.
to, I listened to the narratives, and I listened to I think that's the one where they tell the stories of is that the one where they tell the stories and
Yes,
of
yeah, the slave
what
narratives. Yeah,
happened to them and stuff? Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, the narrative, and then I listened to the actual 12 Years a Slave, the one who wrote it, his story, because I had it on audio at one point, and I got I think it's I Am a is it I Am a There's a book called I Am a Slave, but it's not by that girl, that young girl. It's actually written from a
Before
slave
I'm
perspective.
running, I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always up to no good. I'm burning my head.
Oh, you're burning your eggs,
You want a cup
but
of
that
tea?
but that would be a good example because because you living in Americas, right? You get to see all the plantations and stuff firsthand. You see,
No, you gotta understand. My grandfather
Yes.
was born in 1895. He had 8 kids. He started having his children at 50 years old.
mm.
So my
I
grandfather was, and my great
At
grandfather was
50.
born at 50.
Wow.
keep
Yeah.
going.
He was rich.
Wow.
He became rich at that time. He was a traveling, like we have the men in our family are workaholics.
Mm,
So I fell into that same trap myself, being a workaholic, and
mm,
put off things myself. But but the thing is, he had a lot of money though. By the time he started having kids.
yeah,
But that's besides the
He
point.
was
But
well
his
set.
father,
yeah, he
Was
was.
Yeah.
yeah, he
Yeah.
gave each one of his children 2 properties.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Generational wealth, which is what we
Well,
need to
Well, a
create,
lot of them
don't
lost
we?
it during the crack era, but that's another thing. But my father was one of the main ones that kept the properties, his properties that was given to him. But
mm,
going back to slave, like the thing is with the slave narratives and slaves being even in the family, like even on my mom's side, there is a oral story about a man being beat so bad he said, "Lord, don't send your angels, come yourself."
mm.
He was being
Wow.
beat to death. They could hear the whip being cracked from miles away, and some slaves screaming. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know.
No
So
wonder
this,
we're so forward.
yeah, and even the rape, like um, my
I don't
great
want
great
to.
grandmother, she was a product of my great great grandmother. One of them that she was a product of where the white men kidnapped
Wow.
a group of black Indians, raped them, and they would kidnap the Indian women and the Native women, and they would rape them and send them back to the tribes pregnant.
Sorry, I'm gonna
And
turn the camera off. My little one's coming down. Sorry.
all right, yeah.
Which is
So
what
even the thing about
they used to do, didn't they? They used to, which is what they
yeah,
did when they first started taking the slaves. They women, raped them all, so the men were without women, and then they back the women to the men when they were breeding.
yeah,
Which is why we got this thing with colorism,
yeah,
lighter skin tones, because obviously these women were giving birth to mixed race children, and the black
yeah,
men were obviously owning them as their children, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was an horrendous time, a totally
Mhm.
horrendous time. A time, um, I'm glad that I wasn't alive in those times, though they probably wish that they
Oh,
weren't
like
alive in
even in
further.
places like Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean, they had the
Yeah,
Irish and Scottish women too. They
yep,
had
they did. They did.
they,
My mom was my mother's
what's going on,
grandfather.
Leonard?
My mother's grandfather was Irish,
Hmm.
full Irish.
Yeah.
Her great grandfather, he was full Irish. Her grandmother was mixed race Irish.
Hmm.
My
Yeah, like
mother was something like,
in my
yeah,
family to this very day,
something
because of that rape.
like a
That
quarter Chinese. My dad
Yeah.
was so
Oh, you
much
must be from Jamaica
Indian
then.
and German. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
very mixed up. Yeah, we're very, very
Yeah.
mixed up. I was telling Ocean
Yeah,
yesterday I
like
cut my hair off.
oh, you cut your hair off.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
like
cut
even
my
in my
hair off
family
back in the
today, we
90s.
okay.
Carry on. No, carry on.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
come
no,
on. Yes.
no. I'm saying like even in my family today, we have some family members that have the hazel eyes that come from that rape. You know
Me
what I mean?
too.
They said that like that. They said the man that raped he had hazel eyes, and he still got family members that pop up with that genetic trait
Yeah,
from that thing that happened almost 150 years ago. You know,
yeah. It's
so
not that
it's
long ago, though, is it?
yeah.
When I tell you
Oh,
that my
they
mother would
said
be,
slavery didn't
my
exist is
mom
the
is
biggest
3 years
lie
off
ever.
100. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's the
And
biggest lie.
that is what has messed us up so
Hmm.
much emotionally. Really has
Well,
messed us up.
the young people now, they don't even like talking about, you bring it up and the effects of it. They don't like talking about it, but they don't look at it how it transferred throughout our like the results of
I think
us
that,
being
I
educated.
think that, yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think they're not
yeah,
educated enough to understand how it affects us to this very day when it comes to like when we talk about the emotional
absolutely.
coldness in the
No, they're
family.
not.
Yeah,
No, they're not.
because
It is definitely affecting us down to now. It's
even when you
affecting.
met those uh, black Americans that was born around in like the early 1900s.
Yeah,
They had a emotional distance. They loved you or whatever, but they all had this emotional distance.
yeah. Well, my mother carried that emotional distance very, very much so.
Yeah,
Very, very, very much so. She carried that emotional distance. My father
yeah.
was a man that we think that my grandfather on my father's side, he was a white man with blue eyes and he had wavy brown hair. We
Mhm.
think that he was the slave master's son. That's what we think.
Yeah.
Um, he was also left a plantation house and all the land and everything. So he was left
Hmm.
an whole load of land in Jamaica at the end of slavery. Now, he would have been born, oh God, before 1895 because he died at 84 years old in 1966 or so. So, my God, he'd be 100 and plenty now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, he was even closer to slavery. You
yeah,
know, I don't know. I know that it's definitely impacted us.
yeah.
Definitely
Like
impacted.
I think the young people, they haven't really seen that emotional
Nope.
distance that
No.
you know that generation
They've
was talking
removed,
about.
I think they've removed themselves from it to a certain distance,
Yeah.
to a certain respect. They've removed themselves from it.
Hmm.
And that's probably not a bad thing because then they will be able to compete on a level playing field where we've never been able to play on a level playing field.
Well, I
Because
think they have been the thing about it. I think they have embodied the they have accepted a form of humanity that is false, that has been pressed upon them by
yes,
the previous generations because of their
yep,
lack of being in tune with humanity. Like you
yep,
said, like Osun said, like
yeah,
you go to white households, or if you even have white friends and stuff, sometimes or like other races of friends, their expression of
Yes, they
love
all
is a
have.
lot more. Yeah, like the thing is being invited to dinner by your friend. Like I have a friend that's a doctor. He'd invite me to dinner. You know what I mean? And this is a common practice within upper scale communities outside of our race, where people invite each other to dinner. They sit down. Uh, Birthdays come around. They got gifts, and a lot of times because of our poverty and lack, we'll look at that like, oh, like this white person is a sucker. You know what I mean? Like they're lame or whatever. They don't understand, or whatever. But not understanding that, like I've said, part of that emotional coldness came from slavery. So,
Absolutely.
and like I said, the most liberating thing a person can be is a human that is fully expressing themselves as through their emotions. That's freedom. You
That
know what I
is
mean?
true freedom.
That is humanity. And
It is.
in order to have a human experience, you have to actually look at that. So, I think that's one of the main things that we need to teach and get more in tune with, even with, especially with the younger generations, is being able to accept our humanity and our emotions and things like that. Because a lot of it, when, like, say, the thing is, what if you are impacted by tragedy or deep love, and then that deep love or that tragedy happens in your life
Yeah.
and it's no longer there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Then what happens to a lot of people that are emotionally immature, what happens is they tend to gravitate to negative behaviors like substance abuse,
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
sadomasochist type of behavior where they harming themselves, like people cutting their
I
arms and.
I knew someone who lost their mom,
Mhm.
and after they lost their mom, they started to abuse their children sexually.
It started doing what now?
Abuse their children sexually.
Oh wow, wow, yeah.
We said this about the mom before, didn't
Hmm.
we? About the moms putting so much into the sons that, and when the mother dies, that son not being able to cope with it, not knowing how to deal with it, and
Yeah,
he internalized and turned it to his children, started abusing his kids.
wow,
I'm speaking facts because I know the person like this.
yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they went to
yeah. And
prison,
I
and
think I think that's
obviously with psychological stuff and everything, and
mm,
they could find no reason in that person's background for why they did what they did, apart from the mother issue. Ah,
yeah, yeah.
the
The
mother
Oedipus
issue. Yeah,
complex. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like even with my father, like when I could like I'm going to the beach, living in Florida, South Florida, right? Um, Learning to swim, for example. I knew how to swim, and I swam there on the shore for a long time, up until I was like 7 years old. And then we were standing by a bridge, and the water was probably like 15 feet, you know. And here he is standing there, fully dressed, with his khakis, dress shoes on, and I'm in my swimming trunks. And he grabs me and said, "You're going to swim in that water." And I said, "No." And then he grabbed me by my shorts and just threw me in the water. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And the thing is, the panic of, like, I'm at 15 feet,
Oh
and my
God.
dad is fully dressed, so he's not gonna jump out there and get me at this time.
You better
Obviously,
learn.
he would, but at a young age, that's like how you'll view it from that perspective. It was a mind game. But being thrown into the water at 7 in that deep water, not thinking I'll be able to handle it, it like I say, working on the weaknesses, right?
Yes.
It was a psychological test to give me, like, okay, see what my character was.
Hi,
Yes.
Fundi. See, we have our celebrity in the house, Fundi Fee.
How you
Yeah.
doing, Fundi Fee?
Hi.
Is that the same woman that used to get on Nature Boy?
Yes, man.
Oh, okay,
Master
yeah.
Fundi Fee.
Oh, okay. The karate
Fundi,
master.
you need
like,
to. Oh,
like I said, I only watched him a couple of times. I couldn't cope. I just
Oh, okay.
I'm so fortunate. I'm able
I'm
to
a
see
black
through
belt
the.
also.
He's just such an idiot. He's
Yeah.
just such a bloody idiot. Oh my God. Wow. I was telling you yesterday, wasn't I? One of my brothers was proper into him. He thought he was the bee's knees for exposing his life the way that he exposed it. And I
Mhm.
watched him a couple of times after he spoke about it, and I thought, no, no,
He's got
no.
emotional problems. That's what he
He's
is. He's got
got
emotional
deep
money,
psychological problems, that
money.
brother's got.
He's got everything,
Deep.
everything on the back door wrong
He
Yeah,
doesn't
way.
know if he's
he's
straight or
literally
gay,
been in
does
the,
he?
he was
Yes,
literally in an insane asylum for years.
yes, he was.
And I think
We,
that's how he finances his life, because I know he was an
I
ex-military
didn't know
person.
that, I didn't know, but
he was
he
in
does look
Jubilee.
insane. He
Yeah,
actually
he was
looks
in Jubilee.
insane.
You bow into the room.
Bow into you too. I'm gonna tap
Okay.
one door master
Well, they
myself.
mad you anyway. They mad you a bit.
Hmm? Yeah, but then but then
Wow.
but then but then even his tribe
Sad
is not
man.
allowed to
Sad
show their
man.
emotions.
Yeah,
His
I'll say that I took one good thing from Nature Boy was the fact that with all the tragedy that he went through, he said one thing: "I love myself,"
Yeah,
and
that's the only thing. But then
yeah,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
then they twisted it though. But then they
yeah,
twisted
yeah. I know.
it into everything. I
Yeah,
can't
there's
even say
always
now.
game after that.
I can't say certain words because of that man.
Yeah,
He's just taking the whole thing out of it because for you to love yourself, like
Yep.
in Queen of Fua book, she talks
You
about
don't
women loving themselves as well, right?
you
She
don't
talks
abuse
about
yourself if you love yourself,
yeah,
yeah,
do you?
yeah,
You don't.
yeah,
yeah.
You do not abuse
No,
yourself,
yeah, you don't.
and you do not abuse other people
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
love yourself. You would
yeah,
never do that.
yeah. He started
yeah.
twisting the higher self and the lower
Higher
self, and
self,
I
Yeah.
am the higher
the
self of you. I'm like I ain't. We all one, but I'm the higher self. So you got to bow to me.
doctrines, everything was twisted all over because 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 sorry, I'm stammering. Maybe because
No, carry on. Carry
I'm
on.
stammering. I stutter a little bit. All right, people, when I get passionate.
No, it's okay. Carry on.
Because even with the Muslim doctrine, right, is right. Islam is peaceful. I mean, like I said, I was part of Nation of Islam before, and even their ideology, the women is right. They always say no nation can rise no higher than the woman because they know she's the nurturer. She's the first one that the children see. She's the
Yeah,
first contact. The first, I think, the son uses the mom as the ideal woman he would want to be with,
Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely. I
and
yeah,
vice
mean,
versa with
yeah.
the girls, right?
yeah.
So even in the nation, okay, as much as nation is not as great like it used to be with the Scientology now, but even in nation, the women, the men, okay, I'm coming. See ya. All right, sorry, I've got a multitask here, but even the
You're a
men,
mummy. Yeah.
yeah,
And let it don't be like that. Let it troll it.
You're a mummy. Carry on.
Go ahead.
right? Even the women in Nation of Islam, they are doing something. The men put them on a high pedestal as well. So, like for instance, when like they did a million man more something. So what they did, right, they cooked for all the women. The women got all dressed up in their finest. They came and got them, and then they was able to go and sit down, and they was able to
Yeah,
oh, you saw that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And they were able to do that, and they were able also to make the women feel special by bringing them roses and stuff like that. So I feel that, well, I mean, even though they're not Sunni Muslim as such, but they still deal with the likes of, they see the mother as the thing.
Yeah,
And
I think what has happened with religions is that they've become distorted. They've become very, very distorted. As you know, like the Bible is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. There's no mother involved
mm,
anywhere,
mhm,
is
mm,
there? There isn't. There's not a mother involved. There's a Father, the Son, and the Son, Holy Spirit somewhere.
mm,
So
Well,
they've
let me edit.
replaced that.
Let me
Yeah,
edify
go
you
on.
on that.
Yeah.
in the Apocrypha that's not in the Bible. A lot of
Mm,
Hebrews don't know this, but if you
mm.
go to the Apocrypha, I think in the Wisdom of Solomon, it describes the Holy Spirit as a woman.
Oh,
They
see?
do a mis translation in the New Testament. It's not
Absolutely.
saying
Well, what they've done is replace the divine feminine with the masculine.
yeah.
A
Oh,
masculine.
even in the book of Enoch, it describes the
And,
Holy Spirit as a woman in the Ethiopian
and
book of Enoch.
yeah, and
So
unfortunately,
mhm.
people are living that
Yeah,
distortion, aren't they? We're
yeah,
absolutely living that distortion where we're disrespecting women per se.
hmm
You know, we're
yeah,
not giving
and
there's
Proverbs
no
for
real value being placed on women in this
yeah, no,
society.
yeah, even in Proverbs 7, it talks about the spirit of wisdom, which is the Holy Spirit,
Absolutely.
is described as a female, saying I was there at the
It has to
foundations of the
be,
earth.
if
Yeah,
you look at it, mother
yeah, so
nature,
forth. Yeah.
mother earth, woman has to be, they call every ship a woman.
Hmm.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're all women,
yeah.
and yet the sailors are all men. Doesn't make
Hmm.
sense. It does not make no sense whatsoever. So the divine feminine is being removed all the time. But I know
Yeah.
that we know we're going back that way. We have to, in order
Hmm.
to rise as a people. The divine feminine must have her place as the divine masculine likewise has his place too. And that's side by side, not this homosexuality thing that they're trying to bring in to disturb and distort our younger people
Yeah.
who and then kill off all the older people. Because if we kill off all the older people, they're the information age. They know different. They can pass on the information. They don't want the information passed on. And
Yeah,
so,
like a lot of these people, they don't have even they don't have the most some of the emotional intelligence. Talk about emotions again. They don't have the emotional intelligence to have a conversation with real people on outside. These people, these kids have become digital.
they have
Uh,
become digital.
yeah,
You'll have 5 children, and you've got a 4-bedroom house maybe, and then all the children are in the bedrooms,
hmm
and they even come down for the food and take it up to the bedroom.
hmm
So there's no interaction. When we were growing up, it was like you sit round the table with your knife and fork and eat your dinner, and it was a place where you communicated. So you'd parents got to know their children, got to know what the children was doing, because you forget yourself, when you start talking, and
yeah,
your parents get to know and develop a sense of who you actually are. Whereas today,
mhm,
parents don't really know their kids.
yeah.
They don't, because they don't spend enough time
Oh yeah,
getting to.
we live in a time where women, like I was fully nursed by my mom. Like my mom was a stay at home mom for the most part. So you see the dynamic of our family structure to this very day that we all
Yeah,
close because of that. You know what I mean? But now you have it where women they get like what 12 weeks now in America to be off. You know?
oh, after having a child,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
ridiculous, isn't it?
hmm
So they're only allowed 3 months off after giving birth,
yeah.
and I think they don't finish till they're 7 months or something, do they? So they
Yeah.
work up till they're about 7 months, 7.5 months, something like that.
Well, you can probably take more time off for FMLA and things like that, like like
I
family
think
medical leave.
I think we
But
do over here, don't we? I think we have a little bit more time. I think you can
oh,
allow
every
a
other
full
developed country
year.
has better medical laws than America does. America is
Because there's
we're
always
pretty much the only first world country that doesn't give out free education and free healthcare. Which is ridiculous.
West Indies is like that as well. I mean, they don't give out free Medicare and stuff like that. They have to pay for the majority of the Medicare delivery,
sorry.
and that's why they don't get proper care as well in the West Indies.
Hmm.
You know, so boy, but I know I missed a bit, but I know I came in the conversation a bit late. But definitely the mother family. The family is not important seems to be in the 20th century neither. It's lost.
No,
Hmm.
It's It's not as
It's
important.
no.
It's all about getting you out to work some job, and the
Then you
jobs is
Yeah.
becoming
as,
more. The
as
jobs are
small and
more grueling than ever
Yeah.
now. Like
yeah,
they,
yeah.
It's so
yeah, like
sad what is happening. The
yeah,
family's
like when I
been affected.
when I first started working in warehouse, they used to give guys a sheet of paper to fill an order, right?
Mm.
And it was a lot easier and more efficient. And then they moved into like actually putting headsets on guys, scanners, and now they at the point where they actually monitoring heart rates and your body, all this stuff to see if
Yeah.
they're actually monitoring your human body as you work now. They're
I know.
sticking devices on.
Yes, I am.
My dad's in his place now, you know.
Oh, he is.
Mm,
We'll have to go down and see him.
yeah, just phone him and see what's going like whenever.
What's going
because,
on, Levon?
I don't know.
Yeah,
They'll tell
Excuse
everybody
me a
as well,
bit.
'cause I don't know if
Excuse
he's
me.
telling everybody.
Yeah, I'm back again. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying like nowadays they have monitored like Amazon drivers. They're monitoring their body movement. They have putting monitors and devices on their bodies now.
Crazy, isn't
So
it?
Not
and the thing
mental.
is the people who work if you're working more hours,
Hi,
you're working
Chief.
crazy hours.
Peanut, ain't seen you for ages, Chief. Where you been hiding? I mean, you lost. Sorry, hold on. I haven't seen Peanut loads for ages. Peanut, I need to contact you on DM. You lost a little weight, you know. I hope you're being okay though. Chief Peanut Nola in the house. He talks. He deals with the indigenous Aboriginal
Oh,
side.
okay.
What's
That's the one
going
I
on,
was
Chief?
talking about, Chief Nola.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
saying so like the thing is like even with women, now
Yeah.
at one point they even in America they had like a welfare system where these women could be home and actually be moms, you know.
Mm,
But that's going now. They have these work requirements and the jobs they have to work, or it sucks.
mm.
And they have to work so many hours a week
I'll
in
have to
certain
come down
states.
now. I'm still
And so like
downstairs.
it's just been an
Uh-uh.
onslaught of just messing up family. Just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's
Because
bring
normally
Lola
I'm
down a bit because I think she's having a
yeah,
conversation.
so next time
Yeah.
I come,
Sorry.
Mhm.
When she right. So when she come back on, I'll put her back up high. So when she goes off, I'll put her low again. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's not putting you off your thought, what you're trying to get
Oh
out.
no! I'm pretty much put it out there. I'm just saying the thing is what they're doing, even with the women, even with single moms. Like you're a single mom, you're even though you may have great character, you working so much now
Okay.
and dealing with childcare and all the things that comes along with that, it's a
Yeah.
struggle. It's a
Yeah.
struggle.
Yeah, but you know what that is. But you know also with that, right?
Mhm.
They want the single moms to work, which is fair. I hear that because some
Yeah.
single moms do work, but over here, like before, I.e. now, like long time ago, I wouldn't be sitting like this. I would have been on in a play group with her. I would have
Mhm.
been doing other stuff with her. Now they don't have that as much over here, or maybe it's in certain parts of London. I don't know. They don't seem to cater towards the mother as much like before. That's okay. I'm bringing you back up. I had to lower you down before because
No, that's cool. That's cool.
so
You're right. You're absolutely right. We used to have Sure Start and all sorts of things, didn't
yeah,
we? For
yeah,
moms and children.
yeah.
And that's all gone. It's
It's
all
all
gone. There's
gone.
nothing.
They got
There's
nothing
nothing.
for the mothers. So not unless the mothers create something, but because what they're trying to do, right, right. I think people spoke about this before, where they would not have the fathers in the houses because it will hurt the mothers in money coming in, right, for the children. But some mothers, like me, like I have a good relationship with the children's fathers, right? So I'm kind of okay. Well, two except for one, but I'm kind of okay. But most mothers who don't who where the fathers want to give to the children, right? It's difficult for them to do that. So what they have to do, right, is like they got eight, like unless it's other reasons, domestic or otherwise, right? That you cannot really be around the father. You have to be termed as single or whatever the case may be, even though some mothers do actually fall into the single catchment. That's why I have a ish with when people talk about single mothers, because certain single mothers do actually have ambition. Like me, I was going to college when my first one was younger. I was going to college, I was doing a couple things. Then as they got older, like I said, like I always say, because I feel that women can actually do a couple things. When you're
I think when you're young, you can. Yeah, I think you
yeah,
can.
yeah. When you're self-employed, right? They don't cater to women who's self-employed, because that means the nursery spaces goes up. The like I tried to get her into a good nursery. They said no. We can't have you in. You can't come to us because it's like a lot of money and and you can't come in. Right? She would have been in a good space. She probably would have hit all her milestones as well. Right?
Crazy.
She hasn't hit 2 milestones right now. She's a bit behind on little things now, and and because I haven't put her in nursery as well, because like, you know, right, they have to be potty trained, they have to be this, they have to be that, they have to be a few things. So if they're not potty trained or not certain things, and you a mother who is a little bit like me, I'm in it, but I'm not in there in certain capacities, right? So
I get you.
so certain mothers, certain single mothers who is looked down on. Some of the mothers do actually have ambition, and they do actually want to do stuff. They do actually want to run businesses, but it's just because the government makes it in such a way where they cannot do certain things. They make it impossible.
Yeah, they
They
do.
make it impossible because for example, like I said, I always use myself as example. When I was self-employed, my children was going to school, right? And then my son started getting into problems and all this stuff. And then and they were saying, right? No, sorry. I used to take my son where I used to go, where I used to do massaging. My children used to come down to me because it wasn't far from their school. So they used to come down, sit there till I finished doing my massages or whatever I was doing. And then afterwards, like, we come home and whatever, you know, and then like you do the mummy stuff, right?
Mm.
So because my children wasn't in after school program or wasn't in certain things, because my children, like I said, are fairly independent children to a certain extent, right? So they do till I literally had to stop doing what I'm doing, and then I had to come in, and then I had to stay home, which means that you look like you're a bum. Basically, they want you to be a bum. Basically,
They want you to be a bum. They want you to live off the system. Basically, that's what it is.
They want you to do that, and then just say the child now goes out and does stuff like bad stuff. They turn it onto the mothers, but some mothers are not streetwise anyway. Some mothers are not streetwise, so some mothers are not going to check their sons, are not going to do certain things, are not going to check for this, are not going to check for that. Then they fall under the system. Then it gets worse from them. Then it escalates some next place, because even with her teeth, right? They're saying, okay, if her teeth ain't brushed or whatever, or not do whatever, right? Then we could come in and we can social services will come in per se, right?
Oh, so if they don't brush their teeth, they take your kids?
Yeah.
Damn.
We're in this country. We're in some madness now. We have to be really, really careful.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. These things are all written into law, you know.
Already.
Like your children go to school. Your children go to school, and once you drop them off at the school gates, you no longer own them. The state owns them. They make that clear. They actually own your children. They own your kids.
They do.
So,
wow.
What they're saying is, if you don't need to give permission for them to juke your picnic.
Yeah.
You don't need to give them permission.
Do not say the word, please, because I already took one.
No, no. That's why I said the word joke. You don't know. Someone said joke. So, like,
Vaseline.
Wow.
Yeah, joke. Yeah, them can joke up your bikini as them please.
Yes.
Just joke. They can.
Yeah, they can. And over here again, because though people think that there's not a lot of things going on in England, right?
Oh, there's a lot.
because I'm seeing now a lot of English ones going on to certain panels and stuff like that now, right? Because all of us are in the same plight. We're all in the same plight, really, when you think about it. It's only because most of the percentage or whatever their situation is, they want to deal with the stereotypical
Yeah.
crap. They want to be with the stereotypical crap. Because you see, like how like we're talking about our emotions on here. Oh man, they're chatting rubbish. Da, 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 da. Right, this, but this is
Yeah.
the issue that needs to be spoken about, because many parents did not show their, or did do whatever, like, so the way how they're doing that, they're trying to tear the parents from the children. So her being here now to now she's 4, right? Right, I'm waiting for a letter. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the letter to come and say, "Oh no," but I'm trying to potty train her. She knows the ins and outs of it. She just hasn't grasped that. Okay, I've got to tell
I
mum I
think
need to go to the loo and. She knows. Okay, I've done this, I've done that. Right, he goes to the toilet. She knows that, but her
yeah.
thing is, he hasn't caught on the idea that she hasn't put it together quite yet. Right. So my friend was saying, my children saying maybe she's got the A one, I forgot, where they're kind of slow or whatever.
There's nothing wrong with her.
Autistic.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with your child. You see, the problem, what I'm finding today,
mm,
is that they're treating the kids as a collective. So they're not being individualized at all. They're a collective.
yeah,
So they have all these different milestones that they're supposed to reach at a certain time.
yes,
It's crap. We
yeah,
all reach our milestones at different times.
yeah,
But there's
yeah,
no cushion for that whatsoever on a parent. So
yes,
you're now being deemed as an irresponsible, bad parent because your child hasn't reached that milestone of getting on the potty by herself and
yeah,
emptying the potty down. Because listen, some of the tests that they've got for kids now is stupid. It is
yes,
stupid what they are imposing on our children.
yes,
It's totally stupid what they're imposing on children. They
yes.
have to reach given milestones at a given time.
Given time, and
Yeah.
and
Otherwise, they're now being seen as being bloody special needs.
special needs. Now she took a little while to walk, right, and her father was up in arms. Oh. So I said, so because she's my smallest one, right? Because I hadn't had a baby in a long time, right? So
You
when
go
you're,
back.
yeah, exactly. So when you're an older one and you got a younger one, which supposedly should be your grandchild, really, right? Where like you can just look after them, feed them, and then send them back, right? So with her, I treat her like a baby, not a dog.
She's your
like a
baby.
like a
She's your
baby.
baby.
And I
Yeah.
kept saying to people, the reason why I treat her like this because, right, is right because she's the smallest one. She just seemed to me as a small soul. So I kept her as a baby for a long time. And I was just keeping her as a baby because all the children grew up too quick. It's like I
Yeah.
missed something with them. I don't even know what it is. I
get it.
I took
I
pictures
get
of
it.
them. I went through all the things with them. But with this one, it's different.
Yeah.
So people say to me, "No, she should be walking. She should be there." Anyway, gradually, right, she was walking, right, and the dad was like, no, she's supposed to be doing this and this because like the one over this, so it was doing this and this and this and this, but she's
That's
different.
right.
She's different. So
God.
and she's quite a smart little girl because she's doing ABCs. Okay, fair enough. She does have a device. Okay, she has a device, but sometimes what I'll be doing, I'll be on the YouTube, and then she will walk past me, and then I'll say to her, say ABC, and then she just say like spontaneous. It's like spontaneous kind of thing, because I was never one to sit down and play drive and
No, we
Normally,
tend not to be those kind of people.
Yeah. So, but with this one, right? She is smart up there. I know she is, right? But But it's just that people, I think people do get it in their heads. Oh yeah, but you had children before. Stop it. You had children before. So you should know how to deal with children. I'm like, my youngest one to her is 16. Right? So it's
Oh
like,
no.
yeah, exactly. 16. Like the youngest one that was term youngest is 16. And she's 4. Right?
Oh
So
wow.
exactly. So you see the gap, right? Go and sit
Yeah.
over there. Thank you. Right. So then people say no, but yeah, children. Yeah, children. Hi everybody coming into the room. Hi everybody. If I haven't greeted you, right? And they just was like, oh, but she should be doing that. So then like you're questioning yourself, am I a bad mother?
Too much comparison.
Am I about? Then like you start questioning yourself.
No.
Then you look on
No.
YouTube now or whatever, them social media, and you're seeing children doing the most, twerking, all this type of business. And I said, you know what, right? I don't want this one to be learning all that. Even when her sister was there, and I said to her, "What are you teaching her?" I said, I don't want her learning them things. Fair enough, right? If she goes to school and she sees it, that's different. But when it's in the house, you can
You're
kind
not
of
bringing it into the home.
certain things. You can control what she watch. You can control this. You can control that. Even when people's cussing on the YouTube and she's there, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, right, I'm thinking, you don't learn these swear words, right? Because a lot of people just do it spontaneously, or they say the N word, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like. And sometimes she'll be there. So what I tend to do, which is what's happened when I'll be talking to you, I'll be in the kitchen and she'll be in here. So she don't hear nothing. You know what I mean? Because there's certain words she ain't supposed to learn at 4 years old.
You don't want her to learn them.
Yeah.
Right? So but the system has actually taken it out of the parents' hand, because even when she was born, or when she was coming, they were saying, oh yeah, we need to induce you.
Yeah, all this bullshit.
They need to induce you. By this time, the doctor's saying, but she's a small woman, because they were saying, no, the belly's small. So one of the doctors was saying to them, but she's a small woman. She's a short woman, slim woman. Like, you know, the belly's not going to be big. So they have in their mind, oh, yeah, right. Oh, pregnancy's supposed to look like this as well. And most of those ones who are midwives or whatever I don't know about doulas, but midwives, they ain't got no children.
No, they haven't.
Ain't got no children.
They've got no compassion either. The ones
no
who have.
No compassion. They'll be jucking you. When me and her had to
Oh, come on, mummy, get on with it. Come on, mummy.
Yes. Oh, breastfeed her. You know, some babies don't take to breast. Sorry, I know the men don't understand. Okay, but some children don't take to breast, right?
No, they don't.
So sometimes to some mums it's a struggle. So the mum's there second guessing us. Oh my god, I'm not a good mother.
You're seen as a well, you are seen as a failure in the system.
Yeah,
I mean, it's how it is. But it's like what they want now is what they're doing is they want conformists.
Yes.
Conformists all fall into categories. They do. Yeah. So milestones have to be reached at the same time in the class.
Yeah.
It's called social engineering, and that is what's happening. Do you know the other thing that is happening in classes? And this was last year before in my niece's junior school. Cameras in every class. Why do you need cameras in every class? What you're watching for, what you're looking for. You know, little girls sit with the little legs open.
Oh, yes.
Why have you got cameras in the classroom? This is sickening. These things are sickening. But there's too much sickening stuff going on in school. My niece is there last year at school. The teacher said to them, after you do your SATs, fortunately, they didn't do the SATs because we went into lockdown. Your treat will be learning about LGBTQT. That will be your treat.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
You have to call them the alphabet on here.
A, B, J, right, 26 letters. Yeah, because it's gone there. It's going there, isn't it? 26. I think they've even added a few more now. God blame me.
It's crazy.
And you know what's so interesting about it is that I used to look after them after school, and I'm doing my washing. They're in the lounge watching their children's TV, and I walked into the lounge, and I saw this guy on the TV, and I looked at him, and I immediately knew, you know, and I said, "Oh, he's the real word, you know, the proper word,
Mm,
the word that they no longer use,
mm.
the old-fashioned, you know, that very old-fashioned word." And
Yeah, I
I
think.
said to the children, "Is that old-fashioned word?" And they
Mm. Oh, oh, oh!
I think
Come
they
back,
gotta.
Christy.
I think they
Christy,
gotta. I
they
said, I think
got
she was.
you. They took her out. Did they take her out? I think they took her out. I can't even tell. I can't even tell what's going on over there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine because over here, what they was gonna do? There's gonna have them telling stories to the children and all sorts of things. They wrote one
Oh,
book
the drag.
about
We call it, it's in America. It's called drag queen story
yeah,
time.
same over here.
Oh,
And
okay.
they wrote this book about a abuse kind of situation book here,
Hmm.
and they put it in a children's book. I think they also did one for the two men. I think they did one for the two men. They had that book, and I remember it being all over Facebook, and it was like, nah, I don't want to see that in the library. Da, 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 da. When you go, in a minute, when you go to the library, they have a section for them. It's just like on Netflix where there's a section. So you walk in and then bam, it's there. So I'm like, wow. But yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. But to me, you're not supposed to put your whatever you do. It's like heterosexuals doing stuff on flipping net, like 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 Nature Fool when he was on the Instagram doing what he was doing. That's like a child watching that on the net. You know what I mean? So if oh, I wonder if that's the people coming to fix my thing. Hold on a minute. I think it's the people. Carry on
Oh, okay.
talking. You can run the show. Hold on.
Oh yeah, like what we're experiencing right now in America is well, in America and in the Western world is social engineering, and they have plans for your children that are not necessarily your plans, you know. And it's not about, and I think what Ashun was touching upon, it's not about sexuality in general, as far as when it comes to morality and decency. It's not about what people are choosing to do behind closed doors. It's the fact that children that are not of legal age should be exposed to something outside of what their parents want them exposed to. And plus, it's not even legal to even for children to engage or minors to engage in such said activities, you know, when they're minors. Why are we teaching minors about things that adults do when you know it's taboo to teach that even between adults that have alternative lifestyles? That's okay, but then when you start talking about heterosexual stuff, that's weird. And it's weird in general based upon the fact that you know when you think about it, it's illegal. Like, and these are grown adults that are writing these books and putting it together, and they're trying to influence your children to have certain sexual tastes and desires before they even at the age of consent. You know what I mean? For my opinion, it's like soft core pedophilia. Yeah, like you say, that's why
It is. It
homeschool.
is. That's what I'm gonna say. It
Yeah,
is. So
yeah.
you didn't hear me. I was muted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. Carry on. I'm just gonna put the link back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's softcore pedophilia nowadays. What they're doing with these little books and stuff, and even in the cartoons. Look at some of those cartoons. There's a lot of sexual activity that is taking place in these cartoons, and it's not geared towards um it's not geared towards traditional heterosexual sex. It's usually something to have to do with alternative lifestyles and like I said, I'm not on here, and I don't think this channel is against people to have their lifestyles and their choices. But you have to admit there's an agenda behind all of the things that we see. It's an agenda behind a lot of the influences that have been perpetrated upon society. That's why when Christina was here, we was talking about she was talking about this. Me and her both. When she was talking, she went in deeper on the aspects of social engineering that is being perpetrated not only in America, but with my sisters in London, of course, or in the UK.
It's worldwide.
Yeah,
it's absolutely worldwide. Social engineering is worldwide, and that's why it's so important that our elders are still here in order to teach the children a different way. Children need grandparents, children need great grandparents. We need all these people in order to make us whole people. We can't just have mommy and daddy. We need the village. We need to go back to the village. We have to return to the village, and we have to start educating our children. We must take it out of the hands of these beasts without apology. I'm against children going to school right now. Totally. I'm opposed to it.
Oh yeah.
I'm totally opposed to it. If I had children now, I'd be teaching them myself. And I worked out when we locked down last year that I could have left school at 11. I was competent at reading. What more did I need? I've not done that much more since. And yeah, I've been educated since. Do you follow me? There's so much education that you can gain through nature, through being with your mom, helping to prepare, being with your father. There's so many things that we're missing by sending our kids to school and putting them in the hands of these beasts who don't have their best interests at heart, especially our children. They do not have. I remember when I was at school, I knew that I was capable of doing higher examinations, but we were told we could only do the lower ones. Now, when you say this to our parents who trusted teachers, well, my parents came from a village in Jamaica, so they knew the village teacher. Okay, over here, they come with the same principles, thinking I can trust the teachers. The teachers are never going to tell untruths against my children. We know that they do. We know that they do. Yeah. And we have to educate. We have to put the education that we want into our children. We cannot allow them to be consumed by the immorality that's going on in society right now. No way.
That's why there was many substitute schools that was raised over here. But the problem with some of the substitute schools, some of them wasn't consistent, because I was trying to put my one into this one called Soul Abundance or whatever, because he was teaching maths through binary drumming, capoeira dance, and he was teaching other things. Now he's teaching about science and other stuff now. But before, I was considering taking my children out of school at one time, but because there wasn't very good representation of homeschooling children, and some of the children seemed like they had problems, like they didn't know how to socialize, they didn't know how to do certain things. One time my friend brought her child who had special needs here, and the homeschooled child said something really disgusting towards that child, and I thought, nah, I can't see myself do it. But you have to be in a one that is very constructive, similar to a kind of a school thing, for them to get what they need, like all the stuff that the so-called government says that how they require the higher GCSEs or whatever they're doing now. The MVQ levels have to be high so that they can be better than the children who is in school.
I don't know. My nieces are 13 years old. When they were in junior school, 11 years old, they were getting the work of university graduates, and I just could not get it. And there's no way that I could have helped them to do their homework. I didn't understand none of it. It's a total different way of learning that the kids are going through now. I'm not sure that they need it. I'm not sure how much of it they actually need. How much of our schooling do we actually take forward into our adult life? Really? How much of it?
There's
You
not a
know?
lot. There's not a
No.
Oh
lot.
yeah, yeah. They don't even teach things like taxes,
No.
Taxes,
banking,
Money,
place, places
yeah,
money,
keeping.
banking. No.
business
That's right.
management. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, business management.
they took
What?
shop. They took shop even with being a carpenter. Like my father's generation, it was a requirement for men to learn how to do shop of some sort.
That's right. It was a
Yeah,
requirement for us to do cookery at school
yeah,
and
yeah,
needlework. So you'll
yeah.
find that a lot of women my generation can do the multifunctional. A lot of the young women today are not capable of even cooking a decent meal for themselves, are they? I mean, sad to say it, but a lot of them are not able to cook a decent meal for themselves. How can you produce good stock when you don't know what to put into your stock? Our parents, we were so well fed, really, never overfed, always home cooked meals. Children now are having all frozen foods to eat, aren't they? And we are what we eat as well. We are what we eat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's going to
and
affect your mental function if you're not eating right.
mhm. And one of the things I found real curious about society, and we're talking about social engineering, is
Yeah,
the fact that those who engineer the society are now set apart from the society. Like
absolutely.
you look at the
Yeah,
elite Catholic schools
yeah.
and private schools and the Jewish academies, and like within those, like, and I had a couple of Jewish friends, and like they'll tell you like they're learning banking and stuff by the time they're 12.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Private schools, that
yes.
there's so much money being pumped into those schools. Our ordinary inner city schools, they're not pumping that level of money
No,
into them.
they're
yeah,
not.
They're
They're not.
not. The
And
children don't even go swimming anymore. At one
no,
time, that was a requirement, wasn't it? That
yeah,
all children learn to swim.
yeah.
It's not so anymore. It's
Mm.
not
yeah,
so. So
And
many
also,
changes have been made. Money's not being pumped into education, not for inner city schools.
yeah,
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 It's
and
more being
also,
pumped into. What's happening is more money is being pumped into
yeah,
special needs,
yeah.
yeah, into special needs children than the mainstream children.
Yeah, and also another thing I noticed with the Asians as well, what they do is right, they have them in the shops and stuff like that. But when
Yeah,
you are doing it as a self-employed mother, they said that is termed as abuse. Because I got told that when my children was in the shop with me with the hairdressers, because I was in a Nigerian salon doing my massage, and
absolutely crazy, isn't it?
and they were saying, even though I was doing voluntary sometimes voluntary massage with a charity group, and I was doing my other stuff. They said, no, 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 no. We're not going to give you whatever the working tax credit because like you get something on top of the money that you make, which is why I said that how we need to talk about
Mm,
the business template because some people don't get certain things. I mean, like in
mm.
America, I know it's different, and over here it's different, but when you're doing something and you're self-employed and you're getting the top up, hold on a minute. There's nothing going on, right? And she's being extra, right? And you're trying to show your child I am being self-employed. This is all about you, right? My children didn't get it. They said, "Oh, mom, but you're out every Saturday. Oh, you're doing this. So you're out every week. You're always there." Stop. You stop it. Now she's gonna start now. See, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through with the live although she's here because I might turn off my mic and let you lot just do the talking and then like because I might have to do that because I don't like her interrupting. So
I know, I get it. I get it. It's okay.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they were saying that that was
She just
leveled
wants
off.
some time now, I guess. That's what she wants.
She was
Yeah, she wants
sleeping
more.
all this time.
She,
You know
she
what, right?
wants
All the time I was talking,
mommy's.
she was sleeping. You have
She wants
conflicts.
attention. Yeah, she
She
wants
wants
attention.
conflicts. Yeah, she does now.
She does,
So,
yeah.
so, but, but I think what I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna continue. It's a shame I can't take myself off and let another one come on.
This
I
is
don't.
brought up lots of different areas, hasn't it? So emotions covers such a vast area of our life. It really
Yes.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
well,
it's all to do with emotions. The whole lot of it is to do with
we're
emotions.
spiritual beings having a physical experience. And
Yeah.
then
Absolutely.
you could also say we're emotional beings having a physical
We are
experience.
absolutely emotional beings, and we need to be allowed to let that emotion flow. If I'm angry, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But oh
Yeah.
no, you have to cool down yourself. You have to cool down
Yes.
yourself, and
Yes.
it
Oh.
makes you even more bloody angry.
Mm.
My mum was a great one for that. She was a narcissistic woman. And you know, narcissists, they really hold it in, don't they? They really
Mm.
hold it in. So like, I'm one of those that like, if I'm angry, it doesn't mean I'm going to harm anybody. It doesn't mean I'll kill anybody, and I will come out of it in my time. But
Mm.
allow me to flow. Just allow me to
Yeah.
flow.
But
But we're
you
not
see
allowed to flow
people.
at all.
Yeah. But you see people, Christine, right? You see how you talk there? They say, oh, yeah, you're being negative. Sometimes, right, you could be having a flipping bad, worst day, whatever. You can feeling like absolute shit, right?
Yes.
And people will tell you, no, but you're speaking negative. But, right,
Yeah.
at that moment,
That's how
at
you
that
feel.
moment, yeah. And at that moment, you want somebody to literally give. So, you know, some people who don't like to hug, sometimes like, all they need is a hug. And they want you to come and say to them, what is the matter? Come on, tell me, what is the matter? What's going on? Because not everybody, I'm coming. I'm going to go give her a complex in a minute. But, right, I forgot my train of talk now. But anyway, sometime, right, they want you to say to them, what is the matter? Like me,
Yeah.
I feel if, right, I used to have good friends that would come and knock on the door and say, come on, Yemi, or the name that they call me, get dressed, get the baby dressed, come on. Right? You don't have motivators in the world no more. There's no motivators. There's
Who
no
knocks
one
on the
at
door
the
now?
other end of the phone.
Who
Because
knocks on your door?
yeah,
Who knocks on the
or
door? Nobody.
nobody. Even when you're talking, right? They have a word now. Oh, you're training me. But when it's the other way around, right? They don't precipitate. Right? They will call you
Yeah.
all hours of the night. I've had those ones where they call you all hours of the night, and I was always there, and I was there. Do you know? I literally isolated myself. You see that empath thing? What I was talking about? I know, right? Because I had to isolate myself. Why? And choose very carefully the ones that I can talk to.
Yeah.
So I have like 3 people that I really talk to on a daily basis, about 3, 4, or 5 maybe, right? But it's like a handful basically. But
Yeah.
then I have a federate of people that is on my phone. I have lots of them, lots. But there's always one person who will say, "You all right? How are you? You okay?" Or like my son's friend, right? He will turn up at the doorstep. Do you want anything? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? You know what? Right, just remember I'm at the other end of the phone. But because like you have so much bad knocks in life where people's giving you something or they've done something nice and then they turn around and bite you in the ass and say, I did this. Now I can say for
Yeah.
myself, I've done a lot of things. That's why my daughter called me the genie. You know why I'm called the genie? Because I go in, I see something and I say, oh, why don't you do this? Or whatever. Even though I've got lots of things going on with me at the time, and sometimes I would express it and they say, oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, you're saying too much. Sometimes you need to express yourself at that time.
Absolutely.
And then even if you don't move at the time when they say, okay, we'll do this, to them it's like, oh my God, she's so slow, she's so stubborn. It's not that I'm stubborn, I'm just thinking, okay, how is it gonna, like, is this gonna impact on my household? Is this gonna do this for my household? Is this gonna, you know what I mean? You think about all that stuff. So basically, I'm coming to do the cornflakes. So basically, but people call that draining. Oh, you're draining me. I've been drained many times, all different ways. But I still come out. I'm smiling. I'm
Yeah.
smiling. Baby father, drain me. Like, and I will give my power over, right? Because I'm one of them. I'm a giver. I'm a Saggy, right? I'm a Saggy. I'm a fire sign, innit?
So am I a fire sign? I'm an Arian, and I give. I'm a giver. I'm giving it, but I'm also a very, very bloody passionate. You know, I'm a really, really passionate person. People will see that as me being an aggressor. I don't beat up nobody. I speak it out. I let it out. Allow me to let it out.
Yes.
Allow me to let it out.
Yes.
I'm a water
Because
sign.
if you
Oh, your water sign. Like,
one, which are the water sign? Oh, you're a Piscean. Okay.
you not
My
calm
sister's
down
a Piscean.
everybody. You don't calm down everybody.
He's a dreamer. He's an absolute dreamer.
So because energy.
Pisceans they're such dreamers. However, when they love so deeply,
They love. Oh, he's a Cancer. I've had
They
bad
love
experience
deeply.
with Cancer
They do
men.
love. Yeah.
I've had bad experience with Cancer men. They're womanizers.
Cancer men. Cancer. They're very.
Watching you, Levon. Watching you in the chat.
I think they're very protective. They're real. I think they're real family people. I do. Cancerian men. Though I've never dealt with one. I've never been out with one, but I've got Cancerian
I've had
male
good
friends,
relationships
and
with Taurus. Yeah, I've had Taurus
Have
women.
you? Then I've also got a Taurian brother.
Mm-hmm.
The 21st of April he is, and integrity to the max.
Yeah, my father was
That's
a Virgo.
one thing about them. Yeah, very, very people of their word. Virgos, early Virgo, they're liars. They're flip-floppers. They're such bloody liars, them Virgos.
Don't say that to my daughter. My daughter's not like that. My daughter's very.
Oh no, I remember. I remember when I was a kid, and I got sick, and I was throwing up. You know, teeth in and everything. So I was throwing up, and I was like 7 years old. And I love orange. I love juice as a child. I really love juice. And so I'm laying there in bed, and he said, I mean, my father come to me, and he pretty much he'll say anything to make you feel good. It pissed me off because I was like, he was like, I was like, Daddy, save me some orange juice. Oh, son, don't worry about it. We drank all the orange juice, but I personally get you some orange juice. And then, like, the next couple of days, I was waiting for my orange juice. I didn't get it.
Oh, that reminds me, you know, parents, they really do hold their children in the palm of their hands, don't they?
Yeah.
They do. Listen, mothers, we've got a massive job to do. We really have got a massive job to do. Okay, then. This is aside from everything. It's just funny, really. My son had to go into hospital, and he's 46 now. He had to go into hospital. He was in his 30s at the time, and the nurse who came to see him said to him, "Have you got any allergies?" And he said, "Yes, I have." She said, "Well, what are you allergic to?" He said, "Candy floss." Now, he said, "Whatever's going to happen, you're not going to be getting candy flosses, so everything will be okay." And it was me. I had my child at 17, so I'm still a kid myself. And I loved candy floss. I'd take him to the fair just so I could have a candy floss. And I'd say to him, "You can't eat it. You know, you can't eat it. It's not good for you. It's going to make you faint. It's going to make you ill. You're not to have it." And I just thought, how dangerous was I as a mom to have told my child? And he obviously stuck, because in the big 30s, the man's telling the nurse that he's allergic to bloody candy floss. It tickles me. It does. That one tickles me. But it shows the power that we have.
Yeah, as parents,
it does show the power we have, and we can manifest that to be good, or we can manifest it to be bad. We really can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need to take back our power and invest that power back into our children. But I don't know.
Speaking of mothers, right? And you're talking about like eating and things like that. Like it was alien to me going to other families, seeing that people were drinking out of the faucet Like we didn't drink out of the fire. We had a well pump at our house when I grew up.
You're lucky.
Yeah, so we drank from the well. We drank from actually the earth. And the thing is, learning about herbs and stuff. Just knowing about herbs and like aloe, like how to use aloes and certain herbs around the neighborhood or whatever, and how to. And I thought all kids had that upbringing, and they don't. They didn't.
No.
Yeah.
They don't, and it's because they're not really raised in nature, are they?
No.
Like living in Europe, you're not in nature at all.
Concrete jungle.
Yeah, nothing grows here. I mean, what grows here?
Yeah, but I'm just saying the impressions that the parents have. That's
of course. No, I get you. I get it. I do get it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely hear it. But as a collective, all of us, which is globally, everybody, not because like we are this and we are that and we are this. Like I keep saying, they're not looking at whatever they look. I'm not gonna specify because I know Peanut deals with the whatever, but they're looking at this, and we don't seem to work together.
No,
because we're so used to, which is what I still talk about the Willie Lynch thing.
Yeah.
The post-traumatic slavery syndrome. We are actually bringing it into 2021, 2022. So even though they got all these things that's up against us as a people, i.e. even in the Americas with the shootings and all that, where the police is getting on with bounteous things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think how much of you stood up over there, you see how they were able to get the Asian whatever thingy, whatever that is thing, whatever. I'm not going to specify in case they do the weird thing. Right. I think if all of you stood, no matter what state you are, right, a lot of things will change. I mean,
I agree.
As they show with the Black Lives Matter thing, it works. When everybody talks, it works. Right, so and it's the same with over here. If we
absolutely
all on our square or whatever, so our square, right? A lot of things can be done. That's why these networks, what we're doing now on the YouTube, is primal. That's why they're trying to shut it down. They're trying to shut it down, and that's why. And they're able to strike because they're shadow banning certain channels as well. They're shadow banning them.
Absolutely.
So,
they don't like the fact that you guys are having positive messages from abroad.
No, because we're going in, and once you go in, they don't like that.
It's global now
because that means once you're going in, it's going to have a massive impact, not just on you. It's going to impact others, but it also impacts the universe.
Yes.
The more we raise our vibrations, the more Mother Nature will react to us. Mother Nature is responding to our negativity right now. As a collective of people, we have to all raise up the vibration, and I'm telling you now, Mother Nature will pick up on that. Mother Nature's fighting. She's trying to balance herself. We're unbalanced. You have to remember, we are totally unbalanced. Obviously, Mother Nature is now trying to balance herself, but she's fighting our imbalance. We're totally imbalanced.
Exactly.
The male and female, because this is why I like Prime as well, and Peanut Nola's the same, I think, as well, because like he's a man who will pull up on a panel and he will voice his voice as a man. Because sometimes, right, you can have your opinion as a woman, but then like when a man comes and he voices his opinion in a constructive way, not shouting and calling her bitches and right, you can get a better understanding of where males are coming from, because not all males, right, which these women nowadays, these younger ones coming up, because I am an old bird, these women coming up now, right, they are not, what they think is a real man is not a real man, right? Fair enough, right? Back in the days, right, I probably thought the same way too myself. But when faced with a real man, right, and you see he is, because, right, and I know there's these new words like alpha and beta. I never used to hear them words before.
There's So many new words, isn't there?
Yes, yes. A man being known as a mama man, and I can't remember the other word, but
There's the American
Mama's
one,
boy.
ratchet. You know,
ratchet,
ratchet.
ratchet.
Yeah, a ratchet,
Yeah.
a ratchet girl. That a ratchet.
Yes, yes,
Gosh.
yeah. So, so, so sometimes we need this balance because even with the sacred women one, I want the men to even reach there too because like
Absolutely.
there's a lot to learn about women, right?
Yeah. There's not. We are nothing without the male. The male is
No,
nothing
nothing
without the
about the male.
feminine.
There's no
We need each
balance.
other. We need each other
We
so
do,
much.
we
We
do,
really do.
we
It's
do.
got to the point where we don't even know how to have relationships with each other anymore. We really don't. We
Yeah.
do not know how to form and keep a relationship going. Why? We're living in a throwaway society.
Yes,
Same way you throw away, you go to Primark and you buy your cheap clothes. Oh, sorry. Same way you go buy your cheap clothes.
Armani.
You wear it one time and you dash it away. It's the same thing with relationships. We're dashing them away. We are dashing. We're not giving people a chance. We're dashing away people. We're dashing
Yes,
away each other. You
yes,
know?
yes, yes. Because you see, men, right? Men can make a woman. They can build a woman, and they can mash her up, right? And
Yep.
some of these women, okay, fair enough, right? Right. To me, I feel if there was more men who would go and beat. What the flip? Sorry, I was thinking, what's going on? All I was yo, like, oh, right, right. If there was more uncles and certain
Yep.
ones who was against this abuse, right, when they find out that how certain man doing certain things to certain people in their family and certain things, they will go do. I'm not saying kill the man, but
Jungle
deal
justice.
sort him out and I think that's where it's distorted as well, and especially when a woman's got a male growing up in their house and there's loads of girls in their house. Sometimes, right, they need the boy needs that rites of passage because the father sometimes is not the right one in most cases to do it. Sometimes it needs another one because I was contacting Manhood Academy at one time to come and get my son, and he wasn't doing down where I'm living. And I feel if my son was in Manhood Academy, he would be 100 times better
Better.
now than where he is now at prison because because sometimes they need that man thing,
That male mentor.
a male
Yeah.
mentor, because
Yeah.
certain fathers are incapable of doing it. They will more make the boy worse than
Which
better.
is why we need to get back to family and family values. Back in
Oh, she fell
Oh,
off.
it keeps doing that.
Well, Restream don't like cell phones.
Oh
It's
yeah,
gonna do that. Yeah.
yeah.
What you guys got me meditating on is the effects of when you look at the plantation mindset.
Mm,
I'm talking about just within the African Western community, like in Americas, pretty much,
mm,
for all the way down the Caribbean, South America,
mm,
all that.
mm.
It shows me, like even with how relationships can be viewed, it can be viewed from um what's going on now is they're starting to view it from a slave point of view, like the limited emotions. You know what I
Mm,
mean? The callousness, that slaves had to develop emotionally in order to operate as a slave.
mm. The funny
And
eating.
yeah, and the thing is, it just what just listen to both of you talk is awakened me to, just like some of these guys, all they know how to do is just work. Even
Mm-hmm,
good men, they go to work every day. Some
mm-hmm,
guys, all they know how to do is work. They don't have much character outside of that. Or you got guys that's hustlers or whatever. You got guys that can get resources, but they don't come with a full package of
mm,
manhood that they can impart upon until they see, which is teaching, certain forms of emotional intelligence. You
yeah.
know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it does need the right. I'm singing this to everybody on the YouTube world.
Mhm.
It takes two to make a child, but then not everybody's a mum and not everybody's a father. So even if you come and you meet a woman per se with children, don't take advantage of her,
Yeah.
right? If you can help her to elevate herself. Yes, there is some people that you get there and it's like knocking your head against a brick wall and whatever. But um yeah, we need each other. Any which way, we need each other. And it's plain to see what's going on. I mean, I don't need to list everything what's been going on in the Americas and here, because we see it on a day-to-day basis. We have all these things. I'm not even including the conscious community at this point, because there's people who's conscious and they don't wear the unks, they don't wear the dashikis. There's people who's doing
Hmm.
stuff as well on the outset, right? So so by us having these conversations, because even if I come back up again and we have more of these conversations and other people join the panel and or however it is, because I'm not going to have no shouting matches over here. Because no, that's not going to be happening on this channel here, right? Let me just tell people from now, okay?
Yeah.
We are going to have, well, I wouldn't even call debates. We just have discussions or whatever. When nobody's debating nobody. No, we're not. We're talking about indigenous and
Debating is. I'm gonna say this. Debating is for people under 40. you know, I really believe that because, like I said, when I was like me doing debating years ago, I did it on Facebook. I enjoyed it, but it gets vicious after a while. Like that
It gets
contention
very
shit. Yeah,
vicious.
yeah.
So, people, we are grown ass people, 40s upwards.
Hmm.
Okay. You see how we just had a proper conversation? This is called a conversation with
Yeah.
like minded people, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not aiming it at nobody. I really not, okay? So don't get twisted. I'm not aiming it at you. I'm just saying for my channel per se, right? This is what I like, because then we get two perspectives, the male and the female. So when a male comes up, I would want a female to come up. When a male drop off, another male come on. Voice your
Hmm.
opinion, because I'm not making this six people, and all that thing. Ain't right. I'm just gonna do it as three people or two. I think it's three people. I think I can have one. I think it is, and then so we can get both sides, because the males do actually need to voice their opinion on certain things in a constructive way. Don't growl at me. Don't hiss at me. Alright, right.
Hmm.
So then the women can understand what you want. Women saying, you come up, you speak, you say whatever, so the males can get an idea. If we're talking about relationships, men needs to have an idea of what you want. The women same way, all right? And it doesn't have to be sexually thingy. It can be of a constructive situation, because I was referred to Queen of Fua's book, and I am going to bring it on to one of the lives, because I feel that is a good template to meeting a mate. Don't forget about all this high value man and da da da. I never even heard of that shit till when I come on here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard of that
It's
rubbish,
called.
right?
That's called. Like I keep telling people, you gotta understand game. These things are
Mm,
just they're old. Like before they had the ministry, it was something called MGTOW.
mm,
It's a more polite way of saying MGTOW for black men right now.
mm, mm.
And like these groups have always been out here, but they change their names ever so often,
Yes, they have.
and they change their strategies. So
Yes,
you
yes,
know it it all like even when I was listening to some of that rhetoric years ago, just listening, it does have a toxic effect on
very
you
toxic.
because you're gonna identify with your sex, and then they're very good at tying in your misfortunes with the opposite sex
Yes,
into their talking points, and it can get you triggered, and it can
yes.
also help you. They also will help you. Like I remember years ago, they was encouraging men to get into dealing with prostitutes and strippers. You know what I mean? They like in those circles. You know, so it's just like you will be affected by listening to some of this toxic. Um, rhetoric they have online. You know,
Mm,
just think of what they're just pro woman. You know what I mean? Like just in the sense of where it's toxic. It's nothing wrong with you identifying with your sexuality and being identifying with it and be strong in it, whether you're male or female. But when it gets to a point of downing the opposite sex, because they are opposite, you know what I
yeah, they
mean? Yeah, you're going to get into some form of toxicity within your own life and own perspectives. You know?
are. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And some and because even my son, when he started going out with girls, I had to say no, like you can't
Mm-hmm.
be doing certain things. There was one particular girl that I liked a lot, and I said, why? He said, oh, I don't like her because of this, that. I said, but she's a nice girl. Like, you know, maybe if some mothers, maybe sometimes step talk to the sons, but you don't have to interfere with their relationships. No, don't interfere with their relationships. I mean, my son, though, he's 18, 19 now, isn't it? So, but I mean, but when they're older, yes. Okay, you get cross on in a minute. Yes, and conflicts in a minute. Okay, yeah. I mean, yes, there's interfere and there's been a pain to the relationship. Okay, and most cases, the reason why some relationships break down or marriages break down, sometimes it's because of the mother-in-law. Okay, fair enough. Right, if your son is a certain way, or he is a, or he goes on like he's a dog on heat or whatever, right? Sometimes you need to step in because you need to say to him, when you're doing all these things to these women, and then especially they got daughters as well. You said, do you want somebody to do that to your daughter? Do you want somebody to do that to your daughter? How you're getting on?
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Yeah.
that's what some women need to use sometimes to certain men. The way how you're treating that woman, would you want somebody to treat her like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I assure you the answer will be no. If they're a good father, the answer will be no. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the way some mothers insert themselves, sometimes they insert themselves at the wrong time. If your son's abusing a woman, with the DV or whatever they call it, I can't even say the word properly apparently. Right? The DV. If they are doing that to the woman, right,
Mm-hmm.
you need to step in. And the sisters. And even if her family step in too, they have to step in because that's how it was done traditionally, I think. When something's going on, the family, the men will come in and they will insert themselves and they will sort that out. They will sort that out. When he's not playing the father to the child, that they will step in they would talk to him till he does the right thing. Because if the worst thing is when a girl don't grow up with her father, because then they have the daddy issues and all that stuff. So no matter how much input the mum put in, they still have that issue. Then they go out there looking for love.
Yeah.
So so if we are gonna become a community, a village, and I think it's global anyway, it's globally. I mean, I can say London, England, but it's globally
Mm-hmm.
because even on these platforms, when we're talking, right, we're talking to the youth as well. Because I got youngish, 18 to 19 that looks at my videos a little bit. So if you can reach a youth through a video a little bit, that means you're doing something good. And then they can learn and then they can probably change up themselves, however, even if they don't stay on your video for long or whatever the case may be, whatever. But they will learn something. They need to learn something from us. So that's why I had to talk about the other situation with Soul Energy, because she's young
Yeah.
and 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 um right, people are using their emotions in the wrong direction towards her. Right. Once again, we're coming down to emotions again. I see. I've even gone around a whole 360. I still come back around to the same thing because we are not dealing with our shit. We're not dealing with it.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with it. And 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 YouTube don't like it when we talk about these things. They don't like it when we're dealing with our shit. When we're dealing with our shit on YouTube, on a digital level, because our videos can either go viral, we can go to the next way, or we can go wherever, or it can end up on somebody's thing and they can use that as a learning tool. So you don't know where the video is going to end up. So you have to think more broader when we're talking about certain things. Even if you have to insert it in certain things where children, well, youngsters, particularly the youth, man, them can see it. You just do it. Anybody who's got a channel, just do what you got to do. If you're a man, try to talk to the younger men. Like, tell them certain things, show them another way. Because they're on this prison line stupidness right now. Every time I put on the video, they talk about, oh, when I was in prison.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm like, why? When I was in prison, oh, like you get the Cynthia G's. Cynthia G, whatever her name is. You get them type.
Yeah, but you got to understand the dynamic of America. Like myself, I didn't come to YouTube. I always been active in what you would call the conscious community or speaking at certain points. But a lot of times that may be like on lunch break, or if I got off work and there was a blog talk open 3, 4 in the morning or something like that, right? So it was fairly like I did more listening for years than I did speaking. And what you have in America, you have people like you have a lot of men that have felonies, so they look at YouTube as a way to come to YouTube as a way to reinvent themselves and go legit and make extra cash. And so yeah. And so
okay, that part, yeah.
Yeah, along with people who have psychological disorders, like myself, I had fractured my ankle, so I was home for a while, and I was pretty much down for like 3 months. For 1 month, I was pretty much just bedridden. It was that bad. But slowly getting back. But the thing is, I wouldn't have been on YouTube if it wasn't for that tragedy. You get what I'm saying? The way I am now. But for a lot of people, a lot of the men in general, you got either guys. Some guys are retired, as you see. You got older men, and then you have the military people that are retired, and then you have young men that are collecting Social Security for different disabilities, and then you'll see some of that mental illness play out on the internet. You know what I mean? And then you have the ex-cons, which are the majority of the leader force within the community. That's why they brag about, yeah, I've been to jail, I sold dope, and they try to normalize it as if like that's, and I'm all for redemption. I'm all for, yeah, I'm for redemption, but the thing is, you got to look at you have to, just like even with the guy I fell out with, he said that he had these family issues where somebody was hit or whatever, but they blamed him for doing the hitting of a child, and he tried to blame someone else. But it's like, dude, at the same time, you can't help but look at the obvious, right? And say, when you do the math and say, okay, all these people on here, then you got scamming, you got pedophilia, all that kind of weird stuff that's going on within this conscious community in America. And the common denominator is that you have a lot of people who are like, the disgrace of society to a certain degree.
Yeah,
and there have been good people who've come from home from prison and changed their lives for real, and they truly are conscious.
Yeah.
But you always have to judge a tree from the fruit it bears.
Yeah.
It's wise to do that. And when they can be vetted from their action, and they have things to prove. They really do. If they want their allegiance from people, or if they want their true allegiance from people that are more intellectual, they have to prove some things that they're worthy of that attention.
Yeah, it's true because there was one called Twilight Bay that used to do talks with youngsters to try and keep them from the prison system in the conscious community. He was from some part of America, and he used to deal with the Bloods, I think it was, or the Crips. I can't remember which side it was. But he used to come over here and he used to be one He was an abdicator from keeping the children from the prison system. So when I'm hearing people talking about it like it's something like it's like a pat on the back, um, no, to me, I think
Mommy, you talk very in the night.
it's not nighttime.
What? What is that?
No, it's because there's no sun. Yeah, so I feel that how it's very much glorified on here because on glorified because back in the day from the late 90s, for what I know, right, they was trying to stop that from happening, trying to keep the men from certain, institutions, mental prisons, whatever. They was trying to do that. But
Yeah,
now it's just like it's the in thing now. And I'm like, wow. But
it's
but
not necessarily the end thing. It's the thing is
means yeah.
it's the end thing for the people that have the time to come on here and invest on
Mm,
YouTube.
mm,
Like, there's a lot of black men in America like myself who don't have felonies, who work,
that's true.
that's doing things. But the thing is, you on the grind, and that
Mm,
grind is something serious. Like there's some very morally upstanding Amazon workers,
yeah.
or guys that work at Pepsi or Coca Cola.
Mm,
But the thing is, and these guys don't obviously they don't have criminal records because they can't even get those jobs. But
mm,
the thing is, they consume work and
mm,
they don't have all they can do is listen for the most part.
mm,
And they got family and relationships outside of that. So a lot of times, and they're the majority in America, believe it or not. You
mm,
know, and so what you have is a dynamic where you see men who have fell on hard times and they're trying to reinvent themselves, or they're trying to make a YouTube career,
mm,
or even getting into the entertainment world, because you can have felonies and be an entertainer. It's not a big deal.
mm,
Um, but those people that are on here that are prominent, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll try to make it a non-factor, that the fact that they sold crack for years, or they went to jail or whatever. And then the truth of the matter is, when you really start looking these guys up, they was doing plea deals, and they didn't really do serious hard time like that. But it's like something that, yeah, I did. Like, they're not like that guy, what's his name, Big Hurt. you know
mm,
he did 10 years, 10 solid years in federal penitentiary, but he's actually got a message where he's telling youngsters to stay out of prison, stay out of
mm,
the criminal life. That I can respect. I can respect when people are ex-cons and they are trying to let other brothers and sisters know that the path that they're going down will lead to a place of depression and misery like they never seen. Like,
mm,
in these prisons, like there's some of these prisons, they're so filthy. They're filthy. There's rats, roaches.
mm.
In Florida, they don't even allow AC. There's no AC in most.
What?
Yeah,
That's
most.
well, what's that prison that there's one old prison as well. I forgot. It was going around viral where like they wasn't getting their toilets had flooded out the prison. I forgot what it called now. Flipping hell.
Oh, I think it was in Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in Mississippi. Yeah, these
Yeah.
places are filthy. You
Yeah.
got you got another man or a woman there. You know what I mean? It's nothing sexy about it. People can tell lies how they was engaging in sex with guards and stuff like that. But for the most part, that's like maybe one guy out of 1,000 that,
Mm,
or even, that may
mm.
be that lucky to even
Yeah.
have that. But the same thing with the women too.
Mm,
It's a place of misery. And the thing is, even a gangster's life, like when I start looking at it, like a lot of my friends are dead. Majority of my friends I grew up with are in pine, they're under the ground,
mm,
or they're in somebody's urn right now because of that gangster lifestyle, you know, that they glorify. But where does it all end and where does it lead? It leads to just destruction. Period. You know.
yeah, it's true.
hmm
Mm, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. But
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 I'm a I'm gonna get off for now. I gotta take care of some
It's
things.
okay. It's okay
Yeah.
because like we've been on for long anyway, so it's all
Yeah.
right. I gotta go deal with the little one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know she's calling for you, but it's always a pleasure being here. I
Yeah,
wish I could
same.
have been on with you and Saida yesterday, but and when I see you on, like even if I'm not around, I leave my computer running so you get a view.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. That's
But I
cool, man.
know she said that y'all had a good live yesterday, so I'm gonna go back and rewatch that too.
Oh, that one I had to delete because that one had somebody's name in it, so I had to delete that one
Oh, okay.
because I did not want them coming round here sniffing. You get me? So I didn't want to be drawn into their little
Yeah,
you know,
you don't
yeah,
need
yeah.
that drama. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
so
Y'all let me deal with the drama at the treehouse. I'll deal.
so
All right there.
yeah, yeah. So mostly I'll just be doing the ones that is scheduled. Those ones that are scheduled, I'll normally bring them forward or whatever because of
Mhm.
the Beastmas. I might bring them early because I know
Yeah.
some people do Beastmas. I don't do
Mhm.
it. I'm only doing a little bit of it for this little one. But apart from that, I normally do Kwanzaa just
Mhm.
about. But so I don't know. I'll probably do something during them times because because it just feels like a normal day. You don't feel like
Yeah.
anything to do in it. So it is what it is, isn't it? But
Yeah.
just check the schedule ones that is there
Okay.
that already.
Okay.
Um, so if anything, right, you just pop up on those ones, and
Mhm.
instead of we talking about the YouTube beef, we talk about other things because I feel
Oh,
the
yeah, I know Saida came through. I know sometimes she can't help herself. So
I know it is,
yeah.
but you know that we can just change the algorithms on certain things. That's what I just
Mm,
feel anyway. Because Real Talk's doing the same thing. She's talking about publishing and stuff. So anybody who's into publishing,
okay.
go to Real Talk's channel.
Yeah.
There's Ivy who does about the narcissist. If you're into narcissists and stuff like that, and learning a bit more, Ivy breaks it all. Ivy Irvine. I think I can put their channels underneath this
I think
video.
I subscribed to them and they came through about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So but yeah, because I know people's got busy lives and like sometimes we
Mhm.
can't be sitting on here like 10 hours, 15. No, we can't do all them
Oh
things.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and trips C's is good for the polite stuff. If you want to laugh at polite, Trips Tree House is really good for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, and who else is that? Ramel, my aunt. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of all the names.
Ramel, Lavon,
Lavon.
um, Nick will be, but I think she's like taking a break now.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and but she's posting videos.
Okay.
Um, and Lavon, of course, he's in the chat,
Yeah, he's in the
and
chat. And
and
there's Sister Amazon. There's Big Dog Philly. If you want to talk about indigenous stuff, if you're into indigenous,
mhm,
I'm coming. If you're into indigenous Aboriginal stuff, go to Big Philly as well because he's part. Okay, He's part of that movement. And there's Peanut Nola. There's 504 Indigenous.
mhm.
I have to list some of them. No. You can go on my feature. You'll see the ones that I follow. There's Enoch the Breed. Enoch the Breed. He's a Hebrew Israelite. He talks a lot of interesting stuff. He's
Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's been a pleasure, but yeah, I'll check out today too, Lavon. He
Okay.
probably on the West Coast, look like because it's 8:15, the
Okay.
scheduled show. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll be coming through.
All
As
right then.
always, a pleasure.
Okay. As
All right,
usual. Same here.
all right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Oh, look at that. But I have to put this now that's just me one. It looks so weird now. Anyways, I'm gonna come off because of my little one. She's been a bit agitated. But thank you for those who's coming through. I am gonna leave the chat on the side of the video as well. So I can read over it because the talk was so good. I couldn't. I wasn't really looking at the chat, but the ones who came through, trying to push myself into the camera a bit more. It's too much space. Fundi Fee, Christine, Optimus Prime, Real Talk, what I can remember, Lovon, Leonard, Alexis. I think I got everybody. Because I have to come off now because my little one's really calling me. As much as I don't like to come up, but thank you for joining me. Those who's come in, I am going to check the chat because, like, you know, I have to go see after the little one, and I couldn't really see the chat today. But on the other ones, like, we will engage. I'm gonna come up because I can hear somebody at my gate. But I'll see you.